getting to fly, tossing her in sideways, living.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live today, and the hairdo that we have on us, bestowed. Hold on, let's get the chicken feathers up here a little bit more involved. I want all of this involved. Look at the split. Look at the fall right into the eye. And even though some, this is horrible. Where's my hat at? We need to put a hat on. I was trying to go for dumbass. Hold on. We don't need to put the hat on. Confidence, ladies and gentlemen. No matter how receding your hairline is, we should have some confidence. And obviously some liquid courage. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, today's video, today's talk, we are live, first of all. There ain't no video or talking. This is just reality. We have several guests who are or at least one in particular who is going to come on in and give a take on all the things that have occurred tonight. There was a lot of racing done within a good amount of time. We can give credit to World Racing Group as far as getting a show in and getting it done. But there's a few things to talk about. One being this insane, crazy ride by Zeb Wise, throttle sticking, going into the infield. It was not a good situation. Luckily, Zeb Wise was back at the track before the night was over, so that is a good thing. But we do have people with different takes on this. Hold on, we need to get this shirt right. We got our crew shirt on. The Ekman Dental Arts Brant O'Banion shirt is on. We got the logos down the side. It looks really nice. I kind of helped design this thing, so I'm kind of happy about it. But one thing we need to talk about with someone involved is the Zeb Wise situation. And we have called in our live caller, Clark. Clark, you are there. You are
What's
on
going
the
on, Chaz?
you and you have messaged me when this situation occurred. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to Jeff By, who literally messaged me and said, Chaz, I'm here at Charlotte with gravel. Never seen real late models run before. All I've ever seen is 602 crates. I just watched my first big-time late model race, and holy fuck, you are right. Maybe we can talk about this, Clark. He says, I responded, and I said, best part is the race ain't over in a lap and a half. I said, another best part is to go walk the pits when they're turning the cars around. Drivers are actually slinging wrenches. He says, okay, I'll go over there. I'll wander over there now. He said, yeah, I see what you're saying about the late model paddock. Completely different than the sprint cars or big blocks. Well, just want to give a big shout out to him for noticing that. But Clark, you hit me up immediately and said, World Racing Group is dumb, I think is what you meant to say. This is fucking stupid. They are going to kill someone tonight. Now, what did you mean by that?
Well, when you have a juiced up track and you don't get some of that grease blown off, what do you think is going to happen in these scenarios, right? Like, you got these guys going balls to the wall right away, and Zeb Wise is trying to go around the guy around the outside, and the guy just slips up because it's greasy as fuck.
Okay, so you're saying...
I'm saying it's a track issue. And what probably also aids
you're
to
saying
my
it's a track
point
issue
on
that caused what?
The track was not safe. The McCarr wreck, I would say the track conditions definitely did not help in this scenario because it was greasy as fuck.
You're saying the track wasn't worked in.
No, they should have at least maybe just like thrown a couple of big block modifieds on there for like just a little bit. Like look at Terry McCarroll. Like the 55 car just down the straightaway just hangs all right, just spinning its tires. Like look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, and we did have somewhat of a delayed video of the Zeb Wise wreck, but I did actually get to see By the way, these are some hilarious
Oh,
videos. I can't stop watching these videos where the guy just goes around and interviews and talks shit. I need to try to do that. But there was another angle from turn 3 at Charlotte, and this is it right here. And you can kind of see what happens. This we're looking at the wreck right here, and
like, look at that.
But is this track, or is this back to we need to put some license restrictions on the class? I mean, what is this guy doing? What is that guy doing?
Driving in over his head a little bit.
I mean, he didn't even make the corner.
Yeah, that spot there is probably also a little greasy too, and it probably doesn't help.
Well, I know, but
right?
I mean, there's 12 other cars that seem to handle themselves. This is a driver era.
Oh, I agree that there is driver error to a certain extent. But what I'm also saying is, also when you're that far back, there is no clean air, right? So yeah, you need to drive a little bit more conservatively. But at the end of the day, when you have a juiced up track, you're just going to think you're going to be able to just hang it up there, and not knowing that Zeb Wise is on the outside. And if Zeb Wise did not have a wing on, we'd be having a different conversation tonight.
What do you mean, didn't have a wing on?
Well, look at the way it landed into the concrete.
Yeah, I did see a very close up. I still see this as driver error, big time. Who's this? Who's Ryan Roberts? Who is Ryan Roberts?
Never heard of him.
Well, that's the guy who just did this to. Let's see here, sprint car driver at Knoxville, I guess. But that's the guy who went in there and got into Zeb Wise. I guess his last, point standing race. He's a veteran racer. It looks like. On the Knoxville website, looks like a veteran racer. I mean, he was racing at Knoxville in 2007. I mean, regardless, it's a huge driver error.
I agree it's driver error, Chaz, but also at the same time, they should have at least just, had the big blocks at least do, like, a couple laps, Like, get 20 cars out there, just run it off just a little bit, because you can't just have the sprint cars go first.
Yeah, that was the image I got from somebody. Wow.
Yeah. See what I mean? If there wasn't a wing, it could be a different story.
I mean, that is, I don't know, is the wing out of the way right there? I can't really tell.
Well, no, the wing took the initial brunt of the hit, right? So
a little bit.
That's the great thing about these wing cars is obviously, that first initial hit, that impact, you have a little bit of absorption happening with that wing, right?
Right.
Because those non-wing guys, when they flip, it's really bad.
Yeah. But they're also not going as fast because they don't have a wing. So the impacts aren't as hard.
Yeah, but
the speeds are down.
They do flip. Yeah, they do, but they do barrel roll quite nasty, right?
I can't tell. Is that on the helmet, or what is that on right there?
Well,
I don't know if we can blow this up even more. I'm gonna never be able to get this back.
Thank the Lord, this guy's okay.
Let's see. Can we go even deeper? Oh boy. I don't know. It's hard to tell what's up in there.
I think there's a picture on Facebook, and you can actually get an up close of the top of the cage, of it on a rollback.
Oh, on the rollback.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if we can see what's actually contacting right here on the head of the.
Here's another thing, Chaz. Right. In all other forms of racing, you always get a warm up. You always get a warm up. You get
hours.
Well, not hours. You get like a little bit of time. Like, they could have at least given these guys 2 laps.
Yeah.
Even if you would have gave all of these sprint car guys, you know, you could have got, you know, 20 guys out there and everyone got 2 laps, you know?
I mean, that's
And
true.
just blow this off a little bit. You know, for me, it's negligence on WRG's part.
You
Because,
really think it was track conditions?
Initially, yeah, 100%. So then go back to the McCarroll wreck with the 55. How the hell does that 55 all of a sudden hang a right? What, he's like, oh, I don't like Terry McCarroll, so I'm just going to hang a right and flip the guy? It's not Austin Torgerson driving the 55. Like, come on.
That's bad for you to say.
Like, look. It's like, you can see, it's like he hits a massive grease spot, and it just, one wheel spins, and the other one has traction, and it just hangs a right.
Or that motor could just have too much power for old Hunter. Looks like the front end comes off the ground. Yeah, the front end comes off the ground right there. He put too much throttle to it. Look at it. Hold on.
So does he need
Watch the 55 right here. Hold on. Are you watching my screen?
Yeah, you can see it come down.
You could see the front end come off the ground, and this ain't right there. It's off the ground. So he put too much throttle to it. Right there, bam, lifts, and now he's all fucked up.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, the track was pretty hooked up, eh?
Yeah, I mean it was hooked up. It wasn't grease. That's being hooked up. I mean, I get your angle that you were trying to say that because initially,
all
just
the
this
other
part right here
saw,
looks like that it's loose or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
All the other angles that you see, you can see just the rear. If you see a side angle, you can just see the rear just come around.
Well, yeah. Oh, but I know, but we also know when you pull the front end off the ground, you got to lift off the throttle, and that's going to upset the car.
Correct.
And that's what happened. That was a big one. I don't know. I didn't mind track prep. The only people I think who should be bitching about track prep's the big block modified guys. You know, the sprint cars get this awesome A-main track, kind of, I guess, and the late models get, a decent track for half the race. And then they just say, fuck the big blocks and throw them out there,
I don't really care about big blocks.
Well, of course, you're biased. I got it. You're biased.
Hey, the late model show was pretty good.
Late models are just that superior. Late models are just that superior.
Oh, hey, why didn't they talk about Bloomquist in the feature?
Because he wasn't in it.
Why? What?
Because he wasn't in it. He didn't make the show. Bloomquist is overrated. Jeff Hoker from Hoker Trucking. I actually want to show you this. This is hilarious. Because Hoker Trucking's a big supporter of RTJ and Bobby Pierce. And Hoker Trucking, I don't know if you've heard of that name, but he's on the car a lot. And he literally posted today, look at this. When Scott didn't make the A-main, he literally posted on his Facebook, Scott who? I mean, and obviously it got likes from the Thornton family, and I mean, the comment section is never heard of her. Billy Decker's in there, the best ever. I mean, this is gold.
Oh,
it's
that's
happening.
Awesome. But here's the thing, right? So he starts on the pole of Heat 1. Tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
Right.
That was the confusion. That's why I didn't get why they falsified the hype. There was 4 quick time guys, and they only mentioned 1.
Correct.
Ridiculous.
Well, so what's the over under if he actually wins the heat, that he draws the number 1 for the future?
I mean, they really need it. What that showed me is their promotion of that Bloomquist deal is that for some reason they feel like they're hurting for promotion. They're reaching.
Hurting for promotion. You got RTJ there. You got Davenport.
They don't want to promote him, I guess.
Everybody there.
They don't want to promote him, I guess.
You got everybody there. Everybody there.
They don't want to promote him, apparently. I mean,
Where
Bloomquist. Okay, Bloomquist doing good is kind of like Trump being in the political news. You know, even though people don't like him, he does make people watch.
He's acting more like Joe Biden right now.
You think that Bloomquist is closer to Joe Biden than a Trump character in the racing world?
He's irrelevant now, man.
Well, but Joe Biden is actually still the president. I mean, that's a big difference.
There. That is a big difference.
But you think that Scott Bloomquist is just the hill is climbed and it's over and just go on a vacation and retire for Scott Bloomquist is what you're saying. We don't need you.
Yeah,
anymore.
Just right off in the sunset.
Hand the reins over to Ricky Thornton Jr. That's where you belong. Giving the reins to Ricky. Pass the torch.
He'll never do that.
Why not? Why does ego? Why is the super ego dominating Scott's life?
Because he wants to tear down racing. He doesn't want to build it up.
Why do you say that? He wants to build himself up. Is that what you're saying? He'd rather build himself up at the expense of the sport?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I mean, I do think me and Scott could have some really good alien discussions because I think he's actually experienced some stuff, and I've experienced some stuff. I'm waiting to save it. I'm saving it. But I think we could have a good discussion on aliens because he seems like he knows a little. But outside of that, I'm with you. I mean, he should be a Joe Rogan now. You know, I think he has a spot in talking shit or talking about racing. But as far as racing, I don't know if it's there. I mean, according to you, it's gone. That's what you're saying.
So you remember like Darrell Waltrip when he was like, past his prime when it came to commentating? Yeah,
like Dale Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett, yeah. Dale Jarrett, all of these guys.
Jeff Burton led 299 of 300 laps at New Hampshire, dominated. He don't race no more.
Right. His kid does, though.
Well, but you're saying, I don't want to talk about his kid. His kid does some stuff on Snapchat that if the world knew, he would be out of a ride instantly, especially with how they judge Kyle Larson. But at the end of the day, you're saying these people have recognized they are past their prime and they have got out of the way for everyone else.
Well, Bloomer's just not relevant anymore, right? And he doesn't bring any value back to the sport anymore.
Well, but the commenters say that you just want racing to be slow as chess.
Slow as chess.
The commenters are saying that you're a daycare owner. They're asking, is this the F1 guy? This dude says Clark loves go-kart course races. So Spike, did you watch Big Block Modifieds? They're fucking slow as shit. Hey, man, I drove big blocks. They're not slow, okay? They're sprint cars with bodies. They're non-wing sprint cars with bodies.
Throw a giant wing on there, and they're like, what, New Zealand or Australia, where they do that shit too?
Yeah, they have a very similar class. Yep, they do. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen a wing modified before? It was a big class in Texas back in the day. Huge class.
No, I never did.
Oh, my God. Watch this shit. They were called Texas Wing Modifieds. They were actually really big. It's where some of the best drivers in Texas came from. Gary Wright, I don't know if you know who that is, dominated World of Outlaws back in the day. Yeah, these are what they called them. They called them wing modifieds. So they would take those big block modifieds, like a typical modified like that, and they would chop the damn bodies off, and they would skinny them up. They would basically they would try to make them be as fast as sprint cars.
That's hilarious.
And this is what they would look like. This is like a picture from like 1992 or 91. This is like in the later eras. But that's a big block modified chassis. Look at that thing. And this was like a big deal. This was like a 15,000 to win race. Look, NASCAR Winston Cup racing. This was sanctioned by NASCAR back in the day. Winston Racing
Is that
Series.
Texas Motor Speedway too?
Heart of Texas Speedway. It was in Waco.
Okay.
Let's see, another drive. Look, they used to three-wheel. They used to get on it. They were fast. They used to actually match race these cars versus sprint cars, and they would win. The modifieds would beat them. Actually, down in Texas, like these were the premier cars. Some people chose to lead some people chose to lead the bodies on. This was the this is your same track, Heart of Texas. This was the 2001. That is your 2001 USAC Silver Crown champion right there, Paul White. Literally won the USAC Silver Crown Championship. Competes very well at the Chili Bowl. Even today, he's like 65. He's up there outrunning Coons cars. But yeah, this was a premier class back in the day. Winged modifieds. They were big. They were big. But I did watch the modifieds. I thought they got shafted as far as winged or as far as track conditions. Oh, there's another one. So Texas used to be riddled with we called them real modifieds. And it was, they called it Dirt South. So those cars used to be in the South, those modifieds. That picture right there is actually a guy named Doug Ingalls. He's actually a National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer. He destroyed people across the country in modifieds and late models and was from Texas. But obviously they got big on the wing modifieds were the big class down there. So
how long did that last?
I mean, obviously, pictures
insane.
like this. I mean, pictures like this
that's
like
very similar to what they're doing right now. And is it New Zealand or Australia?
It is very similar, but I believe that those are like legitimately sprint car chassis with like bodies built on them. Whereas this is, I don't know how old you would say that picture is, but that looks like at least the 80s. This class was the dominant class. The big block style modifieds in Texas was a dominant class for. Look at how weird that wing is. Look at that. Look at the front of it. Look at that wing. That's 3 times the size. It's like one of those wedge late models.
It's like a Dale Blaney wing.
I mean, and then, dude, that is Doug. You are literally looking at a National Dirt Late Model Hall of Famer winning a race. Like, this is how they used to do it. This is how the Scott Bloomquist used to innovate. Scott Bloomquist should be like him and just retire, but yeah, those were that was the big deal back in the day in the Texas area, and dirt used to come down. It used to be the Dirt South Tour. They used to call it the Dirt South Tour, and they would come to Texas and they would go to Florida as well. I wonder if I can bring that up. No, they don't have any old school ones.
So do you think RTJ, if he didn't get caught up in that wreck, do you think that he would have drove forward?
I mean, the track did kind of change just a little bit. Obviously I'm halfway happy about it that Mike Marlar won. Some people call it my stepdad or whatever, but my girlfriend's dad is Greg Bruning. And he is pretty badass. They own Skyline Motorsports, and they just switched from Shane to Mike, and Shane was kind of always a standoffish guy. He's always kind of, I don't want to say rude, but he kind of was. And Mike Marlar is always this nice, good guy. And apparently they tried to be a team back in the day, but it didn't work out, and I didn't understand it. But that's a hard combination, Mike Marlar and the Brunings, my girlfriend and their family. Getting Mike Marlar as a driver that's a real big acquirement, because I think Mike Marlar is a bad motherfucker. I've known him since those days. He didn't drive a wing modified. Steve Kinzer did drive a wing modified. I can't find that photo, but I knew Mike Marlar kind of used to be a Ricky Thornton Jr. Mike Marlar, I watched him when I was about 9 or 10 years old at a track in Fort Worth, Texas called Cowtown. He was running a camouflage 157 in a modified, UMP modified. And our local guy, our local badass, a guy named Sean Jones, Him and Mike Marlar went at it for about 50, 60 laps straight, and I never forgot it because he beat our fucking local superstar guy. And that's how I know Mike Marlar. So I think Mike Marlar and the Brunings are going to be a real tough thing to beat. But I do think Ricky Thornton Jr. would have potentially had a shot, but it was just hard to make moves. The track was racy, but it rubbered up, with about 10 or 15 to go. And at that point, you're screwed.
So this stream started at what? 4 o'clock, 4:30. Cars were on track at 5.
Yeah, but I was impressed with how fast it went, to be honest, for how much they had to do. They had a lot to do.
You fell asleep.
I know, but you fell asleep because you don't like big blocks.
Yeah, it was boring as shit, especially when...
Come on now, but the only reason you fell asleep is because you don't like big blocks.
It's fucking boring, I'm sorry. I can't.
I want to like those cars.
Like I was on the edge of my seat when I saw that Loomer didn't even make it through the friggin' last race.
Oh, I know, right?
I was on the edge. I'm like, you ain't getting in, bitch. You ain't getting in. You ain't getting in. Nope. Devil ain't getting in.
Scott
nope,
Bloomquist did add a lot of haters, did he not? I mean, he added a lot of haters with that RTJ shit.
He feeds off of it. But
man. What does he feed? He ain't like a blood god. I mean, what is he feeding off of?
So here's the thing. If he does get healthier, right, do we need a shit talker? Maybe that's what we need.
Well, I've been telling RTJ if he'll be Mike Tyson, I'll be Don King. Let's go take over the world. Fuck. I mean, I've got popular just talking shit for myself. If I could have a driver to represent, we dominate the market.
The one guy that I think that should be that guy is, sometimes Madden can be that guy a little bit, but he doesn't voice it all the time. Like tonight, he voiced it about the invert, calling it bullshit.
Yeah, but the deal is with the good shit talker, and I know this because I've been one for a minute. A good shit talker in the entertainment complex is funny. You have to be funny. You think about the greatest shit talkers that we could think of, and unfortunately they're in the wrestling domain, I would say, is the greatest. Or even a Conor McGregor or any of them. They're really good at making jokes. Triple H, The Rock, they're always, even though they're the bad guy and they're talking shit, they're still funny. Chris Madden's not funny at all. He's never funny. He's just a straight up asshole on the mic. I mean, Let's be honest. He's just a straight up douche. You could be a douche and be funny. I do it all the time. I'm just saying.
So the guy that we need is that going to be Bobby Pierce?
Bobby Pierce is close, but I feel like he wants to be good guy too much.
Well, we should tell the hooker trucking guy to pay a little bit more money so we can get the guy to become a badass.
I think Ricky Thornton Jr. would be, but I tried to get Ricky Thornton on here on the show after the Bloomquist deal, and he told me he lost a sponsor from talking out or speaking. It obviously wasn't Hoker, but he's got in trouble for speaking his mind, which is sad that these free speech fucking millionaire right wing people who probably I'm not gonna say his sponsors who dropped him were more so right wing, but judging based on the demographic of the dirt track racing world and the money that's within it, I'm gonna assume they were a right winger. And it's pretty damn sad that these freedom of speech people are willing to restrict speech with their money. But regardless.
So then it has to be Bobby Pierce. We got to tell Bobby he's got to step it up.
I think some people say Hudson O'Neal could be that guy. Brandon Overton.
No, Brandon's too nice.
Yeah, Mike Marlar's same thing. Who is a good shit talker? Who could really dig him?
Oh, Hudson O'Neal? You're thinking Hudson O'Neal? Did you just say that?
I think so, but I also feel like Hudson's
Rocket.
Just clean cut,
he's
nice. Rocket. You're right, and he's Rocket.
He's a house car. You can't have a house car being a shit talker.
Yeah.
And
a Mark Richards house car. It's got the
Exactly.
legacy behind it.
Exactly. You got to protect the legacy.
Hey, Clark, Casey Schumann just texted me. He said, "Who is this guy?" You're letting him down,
Who's
Clark.
Casey Schumann?
Who is Clark?
Casey?
Who is Clark? Who are you? We've never
am I?
introduced Clark to the world. We're letting these people talk shit about you, call you gay, say you're complaining like a woman, say Jared and Clark are lovers. Who is Clark? Who are you?
I'm probably one of the biggest friggin' race fans of all motorsports. I fucking love racing.
Yeah, but
It's
you
a drug.
also know a lot of people too, right?
Well, yeah. Well, why do you think David Gravel won today? You know, did anybody check to see if he had a smartwatch on and, you know, texting him, hey, get to the bottom, get to the bottom?
Oh, so you're that guy. You're that guy.
I'm that guy that texts Kyle Larson today, on the bottom, bitch.
You
On the
really
bottom.
text Kyle?
No, I don't.
Are
I don't
you
text Kyle.
are you the silent boyfriend for all these undercover gay people racing?
Exactly. Oh, my God.
If there's one person I want to interview, it is that guy, because I know he's out there, and his name is not Casey Kane.
Oh, look at this. T-Maz is a great shit talker.
Yeah, but T-Maz
and
wants it.
shit-
Hold on. The problem with people begging for a shit talker is they don't understand how it works.
What?
A good
And they don't know what
shit talker is not an asshole. A good
Yes.
shit talker is not an asshole. A good shit talker is legitimately just funny. Like, even if it's offensive, it's at least, it's so funny that it's not offensive. Is Cat Williams an asshole? No, he's fucking funny. Even though he says shit that's very, all the comics, all the comedians that you could think of, are they assholes or are they extremely funny? Like, if they were saying the stuff that they thought was funny very seriously, then, yeah, they'd be an asshole. But they play it off as so hilarious that they're not considered assholes. They're considered funny.
Dominic Selzy.
He totes the line between asshole and funny very, very close.
Well, he can shit talk, but then guess what he can go do? He can go walk up into the booth and call a race and do a good job.
Well, but I can do that. What does that mean?
Well, he can also back it up on the track, and obviously you can also back it up on the track too, right?
Oh, I would beat Dominic Selzy 10 out of 10 times in everything but a sprint car.
You got to be a fucking animal to hop into a 410. Driving.
I said everything but a sprint car.
30 miles an hour.
If you put me and Dominic
Yeah.
Selzy in a big block at Charlotte, I'm lapping him in 15 laps. Why are you not responding, Clark? You don't believe me. I have to believe I can, right? You understand that if that was to happen, the only person who could believe that I'm gonna beat him has to be me, or I've already lost.
Dude, if you don't believe in yourself, you're fucked.
Right. I'm working on a modified ride for the Dome right now. I mean, I'm not gonna announce it or make promos until it happens.
Oh my! I would come down for that.
Hey,
100%.
you let one of these boys let one of those modifieds out and put the Chaz on the track. Oh my! You thought? Oh, I'll show you where you could park it, motherfucker. Oh, I'll show you where you could park it. I'll put him in
He
his
shows
place.
up with $1 million worth of equipment.
Oh my God, this is true. This is true. Clark is right though. Dom can win. I'm just saying, Dom can. Why does Spike hate you so much? Why does he say you eat tofu?
I fucking hate tofu. Are you kidding me? Soy? Fuck that shit.
Soy is very
Ugh.
deadly, and people get mad at me for vaping every now and then while they wake up the next morning and give their kids Starbucks. It's like, what the fuck? That's way deadlier.
Hey, you know what's the most fucked up thing? You know how, like, tofu is like the worst thing for you?
I thought the most fucked up thing was that horse show I saw in Mexico one time, but I mean, if you say tofu, I'll believe you.
Oh, Spike. It was
Oh, you're reading
Christmas. It wasn't
comments.
Thanksgiving.
You can't listen to the comments. They're right on my screen, and I'm not even reading them. I don't pay attention to Spike. Spike is an abused child. That's how I put Spike. That's Spike. Spike was abused and used steroids heavily. The worst thing for me is Clark talking racing. They're going to push you out of here, just like Broke Joe. They're going to push you out of here, just like Broke Joe. Although we didn't push Broke Joe away. We just disagreed with Broke Joe one time, and that was too much. So, Clark, are you there still, or did Spike run you off the show? Clark has hung up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God! Hold on, let me go try to find Clark. I gotta go try to find Clark. He's hung up, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? Clark, where you at? Where you at, Clark? Where are you? Clark, where are you at? Clark, are you there?
I'm here. You fucking hung up on me.
I didn't hang up on you. They watched it, Clark. Look at these guns. Look at this. Oh yeah. Somebody said Spike fast. You gotta respond to Spike. I gotta pee and get another beer. You respond to Spike. It's going down in the comments. There ain't no super chats, you broke pieces of shit. Exploiting me for my live labor. Somebody said Rico versus Brian Carter. That is an unfair fight and more than just height. You get in there and kick Spike's ass, Clark.
You know what? Chaz. Chaz, your audio's going in and out. Chaz, what's going on with your audio?
I'm taking a piss.
You're taking a piss.
Yeah. Respond to Spike.
What's the over-under, guys? What's...
Spike is calling you a bitch.
Spike can call me whatever he wants. I don't give a shit.
Are you gonna fight him?
Am I gonna fight him? Really? Come on, Chaz. We can hear him.
What are y'all laughing about?
They can
what are
hear
y'all
you sitting
laughing
down.
about? I hear him laughing on the line over here.
They can hear you sitting down taking a piss.
I ain't sitting down taking a piss. Screw all you son of a bitches. Fucking white people. I'm not tired of you whiteys.
Spike says that he can hear you.
Every time I come out with a damn rap song, I just look at it, me sticking it to the white man.
So, all right, who's your pick? Who's your pick to win?
What,
tomorrow?
the high limit sprint car championship?
Yeah, you want to talk about that? How everyone's gonna leave the world?
Who's gonna? You want me to talk about who's gonna win tomorrow? Well, Brad Sweet's gonna win the championship. There's no hope. No hope at all.
I guarantee you, they make it as close as they possibly can.
No way.
You know, what are the chances of Brad? You know, what are the chances of him getting coming in underweight, right? What are the chances of him hitting the tire? It's possible, man. It's possible. You know, those tractor tires are deadly.
They are deadly. I was surprised that they did not hit them. Did you see how close they were in the main? I mean, they were skimming them some bitches.
Hey, remember, you can't teach talent. Those are motherfuckers that know how to play with 900 plus horsepower.
And that's why I could beat Dominic in a big block first try. Can't teach talent, but it got too much over here.
Well, in a big block, yeah, you could probably whoop his ass in a big block.
In a big cock? Maybe Spike is right about you, Clark. I swore you said big
block, bitch. Big block.
A big cock, bitch? Oh my God! Wow, Clark. I mean, you're from Canada, but we are streaming in America. We
so
are
do you
streaming
know
in
something
America, Clark.
So you know something about Dominic Selzy, eh? That's a little concerning.
Well, I mean, the Red Rose ain't going down on the Titanic. That's what I know. My first physical confrontation at a racetrack was with Dominic Selzy. So,
hey, what did you think of Jacob Allen coming back tonight and beating
that
Holmes?
was, I don't know whether to call 1-800 mental health or what, honestly. He performed well, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes you need a downtime to, I'm not going to say to regenerate, but almost recharge, to be honest.
Well, Jacob Allen was never bad at pedaling a car on a track like tonight. He was, but has Holmes ever seen a track like this where you really got to search? Like, remember, talent ain't taught. Like, you got to have it. If you don't have it, you can only get to like 80, 90% there. And then the rest is natural ability.
Okay. He did outperform Tanner Holmes by far. How about instead of talking about Jacob Allen, how about we talk about Tanner Holmes? I would say personally, if I was I look at this stuff as I'm a GM of a football team. If I'm a GM of a football team and I'm watching what another team has done, and I saw, a player on the field, I have to evaluate that player. And in my opinion, Tanner Holmes had his tryout, a very good tryout, and he failed. In my opinion, Tanner Holmes has failed his national tryout at this point.
Yes. Hands down.
I just hate to say it. I don't want to say it. I was on board for him to knock it out of the fucking ballpark and not fail the tryout. But unfortunately, he swung really good to begin with. It's almost like some of these NFL quarterbacks. You know how they go out there first two or three games? RG3 was a great example back in the day. You may not know who that is, but he came out first couple games, looked really good, but then the defense gets to figure you out, and you all of a sudden can't do what you originally were doing, and you never live up to what you could have potentially been. I just feel like Tanner Holmes has not performed in this string of races. Even though it's his first time, he is a fish out of water in this thing. But as much as this Bud Light is making me burp, Bud Light Next, by the way, 0 carbs, 80 calories. They have sponsored me. They're trying to make it a little more straighter. I sold them on how I reached the rednecks of the dirt track racing world, so we're trying to help them rebrand. Regardless, I just think he hasn't performed where he needs to perform. I think he failed on his audition to the national sprint car scene, and anyone picking him up from here on out is literally, in my opinion, picking him because of his social prowess. And I think that played a big factor as to why he was in the car in the first place. So, Broke Joe, as much as he's never coming back on the show again, he's never coming back because I disagreed with him on one restart and I thought he was overzealous with the cartel stuff, for one example. He was right when it comes to Tanner Holmes.
Oh, of course he is right for Tanner Holmes, and we all gave him the benefit of the doubt, right?
Yeah. A commenter just said it well. Follow the leader and sell merch. Follow the leader and sell merch. That's what some of these teams want, and Tanner Holmes fits that well.
The Haley Deegan effect.
The Haley Deegan, yeah, the Kyle Larson effect, honestly. Who was the first one to really throw a dick on the table with merch?
So.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about
can actually win a race.
Right, I agree. Tanner Holmes is not not even the same ballpark. Don't let me say that.
No.
Don't. As much as I dislike drivers who don't get opportunities versus a Kyle Larson who does, I'm not gonna put Tanner Holmes and Kyle Larson in the same category. That's just not happening.
Thank you.
But I would like to put And we're going to switch subjects because I don't want to beat up on Tanner Holmes. I think he's a really good guy. Somebody just said, it's sad broke Joe went to butt hurt Joe. This is very funny and true. That's hilarious. But, God, you just ruined my whole train of thought. Wait. What was I going to say? Okay. Here's what I was going to say. As much as I want to sit here and say I can't compare Tanner Holmes to Kyle Larson because of the falterish results that Tanner Holmes has provided in his opportunity. I also because when Kyle Larson got those opportunities and his first shots and his first tries, he won Eldora 4 crown. When he got a shot in a midget or sprint car, or this, that, and the other, he went out there and whooped some fucking ass. When he got a shot in ARCA at Pocono, he went out there in the Ganassi ride and won the race, I think, by 19 or 20 fucking seconds. That's the difference between a Tanner Holmes and a Kyle Larson, a Tanner Holmes and a Sanders. The elite talents of the world, when you give them a shot, it don't matter if it's your first time to the track or first time in the car, you go out there and you whoop some fucking ass. Just like Kyle Larson did at Port Royal in the late model. First weekend out, he won the fucking race. That's the difference right there.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But
I was there. I was in victory lane.
In that late model.
I was in victory lane.
I know that. But
I gave him the damn
Chaz,
beer.
Remember,
I accidentally touched Caitlin's butt, as much as they may say I did it on purpose. It accidentally happened. But what I'm going to say here is that at the end of the day, is Joe Gibbs right? Because the only guy I could say who has a fair shot at arguing who's just as good as Kyle Larson is Christopher Bell. And he's been restricted from racing dirt racing. He has not had the opportunities to race dirt like Kyle has. Even though I would project him, and prior to the N-word season, he was beating Kyle tit for tat. Even though those titties may have been really big like Chili Bow, tit for tat, Chris Bell was a better racer on any surface than Kyle. But because the opportunities that Kyle has been given since then, he is now touted as so much better than Christopher Bell. But due to these things we started this whole talk with, you're telling me, look at how crazy these cars are. Look at all the danger. Look at this. Look at that. What is Joe Gibbs right in not allowing Christopher Bell to race, even if you think it's the World Racer Group's fault or this guy or that guy or or even me saying they should, put licensing on these drivers and we shouldn't have just Ryan Roberts and regular just blow Joes who hits the lottery racing on the racetrack. That could be a reason as to why Joe Gibbs won't let Chris Bell race. There's no legitimate actual vetting of putting drivers on the track. So is Joe Gibbs right in restricting C. Bell from racing dirt track racing until dirt track racing gets their shit together, basically?
Well, now more than ever, because of the charter system in NASCAR, they're paid out based on how high they finish in the points, right? So it could be a difference of multi-millions, right? And historical. So, and his business is racing. His business is not selling cars like Rick Hendricks, right? Rick Hendrick, if something happened to Kyle Larson tomorrow, it would not hurt Rick Hendrick financially in any way.
Okay.
It would hurt Joe Gibbs though. A couple million, but it would hurt him.
You're saying Joe Gibbs Racing is the money pot.
It's a business, is what it is.
It's not Rick Hendrick
It's
cars.
a business that actually makes money. It's a business that makes money, and it's a liability, thanks to an Alex Bowman hurting himself. That's what did it. So,
somebody said Bell is an independent contractor and do whatever he wants. He's not owned by Gibbs. I don't believe that's true.
No, he signs a contract. He's owned by, so that what tomorrow he can go drive a Ford. Is that guy on crack?
Yeah, full noise. He's the noise. You got to learn how to play above the noise, Clark. These people are running their mouth and talking all this shit. I deal with it all the time. Bad commenters. When you deal with these bad commenters,
but you know,
go ahead.
Guess what? You know how they're saying that they're blaming it all on Joe Gibbs? You know who also can equally be as blamed for the whole situation?
Who's that? Toyota. The Japanese? But that means I got to blame Kyle too.
Why? Oh,
he's Japanese.
Oh shit!
I'm blaming Kyle every angle I look.
You know what's funny? You know what Kyle does really well? You know why he calls C-Bell the best?
Because CMB
you know why he says, you know... No, he would rather deflect and put the pressure on C-Bell than actually say, yeah, I'm the best motherfucker out here.
I don't know about that. You sure?
He'd rather deflect than take the credit that he's the best.
Got to give a big shout out to Sean. Hold on, real quick. Just got to give a pause. Sean Janes, he says, going back to the shit talker of a series, Ryan Gustin could have a go. Ryan Gustin could be one, but I think he's kind of nervous. But he has joined the membership on the channel, pitching the hit, $2 a month. Am I not a $2 whore, ladies and gentlemen? I literally just sold my entertainment, my working. You know, women, I'm not a $2 whore as far as sexual activity, but, you know, men and women have historically been used. Hold on, let me just say this real quick, because we need to hit this with it. Men and women have been historically used. Obviously, the feminist movement will sit here and tell you that we have been used for it. We've been exploited for sexuality and sex and this and that and all the other. Yes, I will agree. You have been exploited for your sexuality because that is what, in the patriarchal world, you are valued as. Men, on the other hand, we have been exploited too. Not this rich white guy or whatever guy you want to blame for utilizing you and using you for your looks and whatever and your sexual explicitoriness or whatever. But men, we get used for our labor. We are exploited for building things like slavery and things along those lines. Historically, just like you have historically been used for sexual exploited situations, men have been exploited for their labor. We are laborly exploited. So when he pays me $2 and I say I'm a $2 whore, it's not because I'm sitting here saying I'm going to go suck his dick now. No, it's because I'm on here every day, livening it up, laboring away, making all this content, and you people won't even give me $1. But Sean James has chosen and had the worth, you know, the understanding. I'm not gonna be horrible and exploit Chaz for his sex. In other words, exploit me for my labor. I'm gonna be a respectful fucking white male of society and give him $2 a fucking month, at least. So Sean James, outside of Clark sucking my dick later to be on the show, thank you. And somebody said, we just got a super chat. This is another way you can exploit me or reward me for my labor is by sending a super chat. And Spike Fast Racing just did that and said, F you, Clark. Any response? Any response?
Hey, last week you were a $3 whore. Now you're a $2 whore?
My rate changes all the time. I have to, be open. I have to be open, Not open in that way, Clark. Not open like the borders of Mexico.
Somebody just spent $9.99 to F me. That is fucking amazing.
Yes, and $9.99 upside down is 666. Spike is straight from the devil. He's got demonic tattoos.
There you go.
When he was necking in the hotel. But he paid me way more than $2. Let me just say that. Anyway, we're going to get to the next subject. NASCAR drivers shouldn't be allowed to race dirt or anything but NASCAR, plain and simple. Ooh.
Who said that?
Your buddy.
Oh, fuck that.
Oh, you have to. Are you disagreeing because you disagree, or are you disagreeing because of who it is?
No, I disagree. I think, the only reason is for monetary, right? Is because, that's why Joe Gibbs is being a bitch about it, is because, what was his niece or nephew got hurt in the Seabell race or something in Texas. That was another thing, or what's the deal? I think it makes them better. It made them. I think it made Kyle better in the old car, not the new Cup car. Because now he's driving a fucking sports car, and he can't lean on the right rear like he can in sprint cars, and the midget, right?
Right.
So, I think they should be allowed. But the problem is maybe back to your point. You have some of these guys who are second and a half off the pace, fucking just or Torgerson friggin' throwing it in there, and then all of a sudden that NASCAR guy's got a broken back,
right?
Because a friggin' 16-year-old kid just threw it in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not meaning to hate on Ryan Roberts. He's a Midwest guy. But hold on. Before we get into that, Zeb Wise has been in some wrecks. I mean, and you mentioned this.
Oh, fuck.
I know you wanted to bring this up a little bit. I mean, the Eldora wreck with Kyle was big. I couldn't find video of that. Shows you how the Illuminati, smears things for certain people. But this wreck looked crazy. This was at Baps 2 years ago, and this was when the tail tank. I don't know if you remember this one, where he went backwards into the wall and the tail tank came off and just spewed fire.
Caught fire? Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my! I mean, they're lucky. Go ahead.
This video has, I think this video is on YouTube Shorts, like this crash.
I mean, it should be. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
And I mean, back to safety. I mean, how long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hold on. And Baps has a big race coming up. I'm not trying to be an asshole. But it took 16 seconds for you to get a motherfucking Raid can out there? What the hell is that?
And that's
Hold on, he took a damn hand. He took a can of aerosol to a fucking methanol fire. What is this?
What is he
I'm
spraying?
sorry for cutting you off,
cleaner?
Kyle or Clark. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
So that's another reason why would you, so if you have tens of millions of dollars into a NASCAR operation, why would you allow the driver that you're spending, $5-6 million a year in salary to go and hop in, this death trap, and knowing that if he does wipe out by himself, he could burn to death by himself.
That
if
sounds so bad. That sounds so bad. But it's true.
It's fucking true. It's fucking true.
Oh my God! Look, he's crawling out the car on his own. They ain't even helping him. Hold on, let's replay this.
No.
Look at this. He comes in here. He fucking just plow. Fucking.
And the guy
it looks like a fireworks show. Look at him. Hold on. Watch the driver. Go ahead. Comment. I'm sorry, but look.
The guy who has some type of fire protection doesn't go to the driver and try and get his ass out there. Look, the guy who's wearing fucking shorts is pulling him out.
But the dude's out there with the fucking baseball hat on in a can of aerosol. And he's having to climb out. The dude finally got... Hold on. I got to time that. From the moment of this car going up in flames to the moment an actual person got to him. Okay, so everybody knows shit's wrong probably right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, we could time it. Hold on, we can actually time it. We got the time on the screen.
No, we know
5
shit's
seconds.
Wrong when you see fucking flames.
Right. At 5 seconds, they knew something was wrong. I just want to see how long it takes for somebody to actually get to the driver. To the actual driver. We're at 20 seconds right now.
When he hits the wall, start counting.
Oh, my God. Yeah, from the moment he hits the wall, just 3 seconds in. Oh, no. Can y'all see that? Let's see. Hold on.
Like, what if he's knocked out?
I mean, from the moment he hits the wall. Hold on. I'm trying to get this to where y'all can see it. I blew it up to try to show y'all that, but from the moment he hits the wall, let's see. Bam. So we're looking at 3 seconds. I'm just going to let it play. He's on the ground. He's unbuckling himself right now, luckily.
Yeah.
Look at this. 3 seconds is when he hit the wall. There's still a can of aerosol over here. Somebody touches the driver then. So 20 seconds to even touch the driver. The crazy part is they got to the car with a can of aerosol. I mean, I know it's not aerosol, but what is that going to do, Clark?
You can see the same thing about Carson Macedo's wreck. Same fucking thing.
No, they hit that bitch immediately. They doused that motherfucker. There's no comparison.
It still took time, man.
There's no comparison to how they reacted. I mean, we could go to the Carson Macedo wreck. I mean, the video is literally on my channel. I mean, that was the #1 video of this year. They were on this wreck. They did not fuck around.
If you are paying Christopher Bell $6 million a year, because he's probably getting $5 to $6 million at minimum, and if you're paying him $5 or $6 million, would you allow him to hop into a $150,000 death trap, knowing that
a casket with wings?
There's like a yeah, of course it is.
So this is the Macedo wreck. Dude, they got to it pretty damn fast, and they didn't come with no can of aerosol. But
not every track that they go to is fucking prepared.
Right. Well, like that fucking situation we just saw.
So did they ever confirm if maybe the steering? Did they ever confirm if the steering box went out on this thing?
No, they probably never would say that either. I know I wouldn't say it.
Did you see that late model tonight just hang a right?
Yes, that was pretty crazy. That was pretty nuts. Insane.
And they're thinking that a tie rod might have snapped.
Yeah, that was during the heat race, wasn't it? I believe it was during the heat race.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just looking at the A-main a little bit. How about Chris Madden, man? Just look at that. Look at that. Like you can't even do that in sprint cars. That's the sad part about sprint cars.
What? Do what?
Come through the field. You can't work your way to the front. Like it's over. 5 laps in, the race is over. If it stays green, it's over.
Sprint cars?
Yeah. 5 laps in, if it stays green, I would challenge a motherfucker to come from 5th or 6th. It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Well, how far back did gravel fall?
I think 3rd at one point, maybe 4th, maybe.
No, keep going, bitch.
No, he did not. Oh hell no! Now we're looking that up. Hold on,
look it up.
That's not true. Monster Jam World Finals. Not true. Who in the comment section could call Clark a cunt? Let's hear it. We'll put your comment on the screen if you call him a cunt. Wrong. He's from Canada. Fuck him. I'm kidding. Oh. All right. Because Sweet's the only reason David Gravel won. You know that, right? You're going to admit that, right?
What do you mean Sweet's the only reason? Sweet
showed him the bottom. Sweet showed everyone the bottom. The bottom is why David Gravel won.
And then
the lap car,
and then he
Brock Zerfoss is why Brad Sweet lost. You understand that too?
No. Why the fuck would you say that?
Because it's fucking true.
So you're telling me
okay, hold on. We got the replay up right now.
Control the 49 car.
Yes. No. Okay, hold on. You're trying to manipulate me. You're a freaking narcissist, like the women tell me I am. But anyways,
Look,
Gravel's in fourth right
watching?
now. Brad Sweet's going by. You said
Yeah,
Brad Sweet, blah, 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 blah. Brad Sweet showed everyone the bottom right here. Everyone is up top right now. Everyone. This is coming up to lap 10.
Look, Gravel, look.
He
P5.
finds the bottom.
P5.
He's back to fifth. Okay.
You see that?
Wow. Lap 8. He's back to fifth. Oh. But Brad Sweet showed everyone the bottom here. Brad Sweet is why David Gravel won.
Oh, look at Brad lose the bottom. No. He was impatient.
He was going to win the fucking race until he gets up here to fucking Moose's LZ Bar and Grill. You know, I don't want to say Brock Zierfoss is the reason the team's on the racetrack, because it ain't. It ain't performance as to why Brock Zierfoss is on the track. I hope you're not going to say that's why. But, I mean, Brock Zierfoss has the bottom line. I think we saw a real good example of how dirty air is horrible. How about that heat or B main where James McFadden struggled to get by Jeff Dodge in the B main because of dirty air? I think we need to do something about the wings of sprint car racing. The whole car needs to be redesigned, not only for the racing aspect, but the safety aspect.
We need smaller wings.
We need a next-gen sprint car. Plain and fucking simple. We do need a next-gen sprint car. We're still working. Hopefully everyone knows we're still working on the Gen 1. This is still, even though the body looks different and the wings look nicer, these are still Gen 1 sprint cars. Correct? Clark?
They're a little bit smaller, are they not? Not much.
But
the wheelbase has gone down a
the
little
dimensions
bit,
of the car are the same. It's still a Gen 1.
The wheelbase hasn't changed. I thought the wheelbase got a little bit smaller.
I mean, I'd have to go research what a 1985 sprint car wheelbase was, but I'm going to... They got different wheelbases, by the way, Clark. You can set them differently. The chassis are different.
I know that. No, I'm saying, like, I thought that they were at least, 4 or 5 inches narrower than what they used to be.
Isn't that bad, though? That wasn't made through safety. You're going to give the driver less room with his elbows to the exposed area of the car?
Well, yeah.
That makes no sense. The fuck are you talking about? This is still a Gen 1 sprint car. We need hold on. Let's fucking plant the shit right now. We need a next gen sprint car, and the high limit sprint car series is going to be the one to introduce it.
Well, it would be nice. It would be nice to kind of speed up the show a little bit there, Chaz, because, fucking 6 hours of,
You're still mad about the big blocks.
Including big blocks, fucking big blocks.
You still hate the big blocks.
If the big blocks go back to like the mile at Syracuse, yeah, all day long.
But keep them off our fucking half miles with sprint cars and late models is what you're saying.
I think they should make this track smaller, personally. This track's too fucking big. If you shrunk this track down a little bit, even the late models would put on a better show, and then maybe
Casey Schumann has came to the comment section for you. Former World of Outlaw Late Model Series Director of Operations, as well as current I-70 Sprint Car or I-70 Speedway track promoter, the developer of the War Sprint Car Series, has came in and responded to you, Clark. He says the wheelbase is 86 to 87 inches, same as it was in the 80s. It's never fucking changed. Casey Schumann's calling you out.
Damn. Well, it's good that we actually have somebody that has knowledge, right, Chaz?
I have all the knowledge in the world. First of all, don't you dare disrespect me like that.
The tires
I tried to tell you before.
In the 90s.
I tried to tell you that they were on the first gen.
Why don't we ask Casey how much harder? How much harder are the tires today than they were back in the day? Were they not much
That's
softer
not
back
what
in the
I'm
day
saying. That's not what I'm saying, though, Clark.
Okay,
and what are you saying? What are you trying to say, that they were slower or something?
Well, they were slower, were they not?
Okay, yeah. Casey Schumann said crickets.
And did they put on
He's
better
calling
racing?
you out. Crickets. He said crickets.
So, Casey, how do we improve the sprint car racing? Smaller wings,
We got to
cars,
we
wider
got to
cars?
do what me and Casey Schumann had a race idea at the beginning of the year. It didn't happen, but I think it would work. You know, Kyle's already crying. He wants starters, right? He wants starters on sprint cars. I think that we need a little more. We need nothing's wrong with that. We need a little more cockpit room and everything like that. I think we need 8 to 10 inches of cockpit room. And me and Casey were talking about this, and I said, why don't we just do a wing Silver Crown race? Because that's basically what we're asking for.
But here's the problem. So
why don't we put wings on Silver Crown cars, Clark?
Are they not a longer wheelbase car?
They're a little bit longer. I mean, I don't know what they are, 102
so guess what?
or something.
When you have a longer wheelbase car, it's going to make the racing worse. If you have a shorter wheelbase car, it's going to be better.
Why?
Why? Because it's going to have more grip. It's going to generate more downforce.
Yeah, but a wing Silver Crown car, no one's ever tried. It's going to be faster. It may not be if we're worried about turning the fastest laps in the world, that's not necessarily the best racing in the world.
Well, that's what you're going to get with a Silver Crown car, are you not?
Do you not think that a next-gen sprint car would be a little slower?
If you took,
I mean, the bullet cars of 2000s for NASCAR were extremely faster than the next gens of today. Gen 4 or 5.
If you take
prior to the COT.
If you take an eighth of the surface area off of these wings, it's going to create better racing because the guys are going to have to slow down more. The more downforce you take away from these cars, the better the racing will be, hands down.
So then, do you think we should? Okay, so somebody said 96-inch wheelbase. I almost thought of like instead of calling it a wing Silver Crown car, you know what I think needs to come back? I think we should make a next-gen super modified. Now, I don't know if you know what that is, Clark, but an original super modified was basically a sprint car. It was just a little bit longer. Some called them champ cars. And the first Knoxville, I think it was like first 5 or 10 years of the Knoxville Nationals, was actually super modifieds. That was the class that raced. They had wings on their cars before the sprint cars did. So we may not need we may not need winged Silver Crown cars. We need, back to the beginning of this, winged modifieds. We need super winged modifieds. Kyle or Clark, what do you think? I keep calling you Kyle, although maybe Kyle wants to be on the show. I'm not sure, but what do you think? Winged super modifieds.
I think if you call Kyle and ask him to come on the show, he'll come on the show.
No, Kyle will never come on the show. He hates me. He's jealous because Caitlin has a thing for me. At least my girlfriend thinks so. But we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. Hold on, let's see here. Where's the super modifieds? What did you say? You didn't say anything. My bad.
I don't know.
It's a PDF.
I just think some people are on crack.
Why do you think people are on crack? Why? Why are they on crack?
Because these
are you saying that promoter of I-7
these cars make zero downforce? It's amazing.
What do you mean the cars make zero downforce?
If you take I don't know, some guy says these cars make zero downforce. I don't know. These guys are on crack.
Yeah, these were the old super modifieds right here. These were the original cars of the Knoxville Nationals. The first cars to have wings on them. Sprint cars actually took this idea and put wings on their cars because of super modifieds.
So does Casey know, are the wings the exact same size today as they were in the 80s?
Oh, fuck. All you got to do is look at this picture right here. You think so? Hell no. I think the wings are a big problem. I think the IMCA sprint cars wings are nice.
And what's
I thought it
what's
was
the
the best
difference on the
wings.
IMCA?
Let me see. I gotta find it. It was in the 90s. They were skinny sideboards. They were skinny sideboards, but they were long. Let's see here. Trying to find exactly maybe some drivers
The more
Go ahead.
if you just reduce the downforce on the top wing, the racing will be better.
I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you. Can't
It's
find
like
any.
it's like in any form of racing. It's like if you look at Formula One, you look at IndyCar, when they went to a lower downforce setting on the cars, the racing was better. Always. You ask somebody who's an aerodynamicist, they will say as long as the less air disturbance you have from the car in front of you, the more downforce the car behind you is going to have.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like people are treating this kind of like a like top fuel, go as fast as you can type deal. Who cares about the safety?
Well, these things are ticking time bombs, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're saying. Like you're it's almost like swimming in the ocean with some sharks. You're taking the risk, bud. You know, if you get bit by the shark, that was the risk. We'll catch it on Shark Week and make money off of it. You know, I mean,
there's got to be a balance between mechanical grip and aero grip. And right now, the sprint cars, they have way too much dependency on wing speed.
Well, yeah, I
You
mean,
hear it all the time.
The wing speed is definitely a big issue. It's too dependent, and it takes the driver out of the car.
Well, yeah, you have, gravel and these guys going friggin' flat out through Charlotte wide open. They're not even lifting. Why aren't they lifting, Chaz? The car has too much fucking grip.
Cody Jacobs is doing a really good job.
Yes.
That's what I mean. That's
also
what
clean air is king. Clean air is king.
Well,
right?
I mean,
and
fucking
also you got to have a Ferrari
James McFadden almost couldn't pass Jeff Dodge. Who's Jeff Dodge? I mean, he is a legendary racer.
Why?
Because of clean air. Because of air.
So take fucking downforce away. And if you don't, and if you don't think that these cars make downforce, you're a fucking idiot. And if you don't think making the friggin' sideboard smaller, you're a fucking idiot. If you don't think taking the surface area away from the top wing, you are a fucking idiot.
Wow. That's some strong words.
Make the tires softer, not fucking harder.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. It sucks I can't find these.
Make these guys friggin' conserve tires. If you blow a fucking right rear, you blew a right rear. Maybe your tire guy sucks. Maybe you guys want aggressive. Who knows? Right? These guys are already spending the friggin' money. Give them the option. Run a hard tire, run a soft tire.
Well, don't they have the option? Like, don't they have the option?
I think the options are smaller and more limited than they've been in previous years. Because they want to get more life out of the tire.
True. That's true.
Thanks to Hoosier. Thanks to COVID.
Hoosier. Fucking Hoosier.
Who owns Hoosier now?
Continental. It's a German company. Germany.
Continental, eh?
Yep, Germany.
Shit.
The freaking
if you guys don't
the
like
Nazis.
Yeah. Well, Anybody else got any bright ideas on how you improve the racing?
They hate you, Clyde. Why did I call you? Clark? I've called you Clyde, Kyle, anything but Clark. What the hell?
Doesn't fucking matter to me.
Casey Schumann says you can run a 15 or a medium. Oh wow! Somebody said Clark fears the truth of Casey. Wow. What do you think he's even talking about?
Fearing Casey? No idea.
Somebody says it's science, Clark. Past 15 degrees, the wing is a stall. It's drag, not downforce. Ooh.
Past 15 degrees?
That's what he said.
It's a stall. Interesting.
Okay, they want to hear from Spike.
Well,
Can we call Spike, I guess?
Give Spike a call.
Man, it would be nice if we could do like a I don't want to say threesome, but
That's a little gay.
yeah. Well, with this hair, what am I supposed to do?
Oh my God. If you can make it happen for a couple of minutes, let's go. If not, let's do it tomorrow. Tell Spike he's got to be ready tomorrow. He sounds like he's a Bloomquist fan, eh? He's a Bloomer fan,
is.
right?
He more than likely is. Let's see. I'm trying to like.
Gotta be. Is Casey a Bloomer fan too?
I'm trying to get like this 3-way deal going. Clark, are you there, Clark? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We lost him. We're trying to call him back, I think. I've had a few beers tonight.
Hello.
Oh no! I called the wrong person back.
No, you called the right damn person.
Oh my God! No. No.
If I have to listen to another second of that little kid, my God.
Oh no! I'm texting people. Oh my God! No.
Why do you put us through this?
What do you mean? He has good insight sometimes. By the way, if you need a logo, I can make you one. Albanian Racing.
On what?
What do you mean? I just
on what?
let Clark down. We're trying to protect the liberalization of this show.
Clark makes God look bad. Because he just sits there and babbles on about nothing.
What do you think about my hairdo?
Everything. He hates everything.
Well, I mean, he probably hates women too, but join the fucking show with you involved. But tonight's Chaz hair looks Gen cluster. What is a Gen cluster?
Probably some Gen X thing.
That's true. All right, what do you want to say? Hold on. Here's what I gotta say. I have to take a piss really bad. The Bud Lights are coming in and out. Obviously, that's what she said. What do you want to say? I can hear everything you're gonna say, but it sounds like you've had a lot to say in the chat. Casey Schumann's here. Everyone's listening. What do you got to say? I'm going to take a piss while I drink a beer and throw this can away. Let's go.
Clark is the mascot for everybody in the stands at the sprint car race from ages 8 to 80 that hate everything they watch. If the track is shit and it's a parade, they piss and moan. If it's a little slippery, they piss and moan. If it's competitive, they piss and moan. If there's wrecks, they cry like they're all going to die. If there ain't no wrecks, they say it's the most boring thing on earth. They hate everything. And then he says, this is all WRG's fault. What in the hell are you talking about? What is the fault of them? That track was very entertaining tonight. I thought it was great.
Hey,
and I'm not.
Hey, now the big block guys have a reason to be pissed, though. They got the shit into the stick.
Well, but that's you're mixing, tri-breeds at that point, right?
Shut the fuck up. That's not right. Tri-breeds is my hairdo. We're talking about racing.
Tri-breeds, I'm saying you're mixing all these different types. Eventually, someone's going to get the short end of the stick. All right?
Yeah, the short end of the stick is what I got born with in girth and length. But we're talking about racing.
There's nothing wrong with it. Here's the deal. If it's boring as shit, they cry. If there's a wreck, they cry. If a guy makes a slide job and he times it 2 milliseconds off and almost clips the guy, they cry. If the guy makes a beautiful slide job, they cry. They just cry all the damn time.
It's like Broke
I
Joe.
thought it was great. I thought it was a really good event.
I mean, I did not hate this event. I didn't. I haven't. I thought they went great with as far as time. I think doing as many races as they just did from 4 o'clock. The sprint car A-main in interview was complete at 9 o'clock Eastern. That's pretty damn good to do as many races as they had from 4 to 9. What 5 hours to do all the hot laps, opening ceremonies was 4. They probably didn't hit the track till 4:20 or so. No reference to weed consumption. But 4.5 hours, the A-main for the sprint cars was done. I thought it was pretty damn good. Clark came on here, tried to say that it was the track not being worked in that caused that wreck with not Alex Bowman, but caused the wreck with Hunter Schurenberg and Austin McCarl. Obviously, it looked like that the track was hooked up and he pulled the wheels off the ground and couldn't hold on to the race car. I also see the Zeb Wise situation as another situation where a guy can't hold on to a race car. Is the High Limit Series going to implement a licensing system with the FIA? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I think there's nothing wrong. That's racing. What the hell is happening to you fans that you piss and moan that there's wrecks?
What is racing at this point to you, Spike? A fucking Daredevil circus act?
It's competitive.
There's competition in driving into the side of race cars.
I ain't looking for a goddamn demo derby. I'm just saying stuff happens. Is that not a thing?
Yeah, it is a thing, yes. And I don't believe that the NASCAR drivers are any more qualified than Ryan Roberts, for example. But
well, I think it makes it a human sport, and it makes it that this is hard. It's not a parade on dirt.
I mean,
right?
To the point.
Am I right?
Point. Yeah.
I mean, so that you don't have these 14 to 16-year-old little assholes coming in and trying to run the races every damn thing. Right?
Right.
You got grown-ass men that are out there struggling that have raced probably hundreds, if not thousands of races. That's a beautiful thing.
Even Ryan Roberts that caused that wreck tonight turned laps at Knoxville in 2007. That's how long he's been racing.
Sure. So it's a human sport and it's hard.
Right.
It's not WRG's fault. It's not the track's fault. It's a hard sport.
Okay. Well, then what's
and
the
there's
next?
there's human beings that there's human element to it. You want it to be a parade, boring as shit, nobody does a damn thing? Well, there's plenty of that. About 70 of the events a year for the Outlaws are a parade, so go watch that.
This is true. But is that WRG's fault as well?
Survival of the fittest at that point.
Or survival of the ones who could keep paying the bills?
Well, I mean, think about it. You ain't going to go all in on a hand at the poker table, right? You might say, you know what, I'm just going to...
Depends on what hand you got.
Pot. Let's just chop the pot and go.
Chop the pot and go.
What goes on for about 6
hold on. Chop the pot and go. Are you doing some kind of drug deal with the cartel? What are you talking about? Chop the pot and go.
That's a poker term. So if you and I and you know, Clark,
I was thinking of it
owner,
gangster wise. Chop the pot and go.
Yeah, let's say
take the money and run. You know,
you, me, and Clark, the daycare owner, have similar stacks of chips, and we're going to be playing poker all damn night to fight over the same bullshit stack.
Okay.
If the pot's 10 grand, we say, hey, let's just chop it 3 ways and get the fuck out of here.
All I can think about, I related that to like the one hot girl at the bar that everyone wants, and you was like, we all want the hot girl. Well, let's just all have a share and leave. Like that's kind of what I heard.
Well, I mean, Clark doesn't know about that, but yeah, you and I thought that.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up, Spike. That's not right, Spike. Hey,
Clark.
In that scenario, I'm thinking who's renting the room and who's going second. You know, I mean, I got to go first. I promise I won't leave a dent that you can notice. You know what I'm saying? I'm on that pinky ring life. No? Hello?
Right? Say it again.
Oh, God. I'm not reiterating. Rake the pot and deal the next hand is what World Racing Group is. This PMG guy, who is this PMG guy in the comments? He's pretty smart.
I don't know, but I have no problem with it. The late models were on point. Here's the thing. When's the last time some of these guys have actually raced? It's probably been over a month for some of them.
Right.
You know, there's a little bit of that. This track is big and fast. It's hooked up. It's a mixed pot of drivers, right?
Right.
That's the beauty of it. I tell you what, I'm going to watch the rest of the World Finals this weekend, and by God, I might go next year because this is damn entertaining for me.
It is entertaining. I mean, it's not a dust fest. You know, we're used to the dust fest of Charlotte, and that's why I didn't want to go. I've labeled, you know, Charlotte as one of the World Finals is one of the worst races to attend. Track usually sucks. Racing usually sucks. I mean, tonight, the first race of the year, or first race of the World Finals, was possibly the best World Finals night they've had in a long, long time.
Yeah, so why are they crying? When did it become where sprint cars wreck and roll over, and this is somehow the biggest travesty on earth, and nobody's ever witnessed this, and they're just appalled by it, and
it's barbaric. It's fucking barbaric, Spike.
I mean, they're taking the Brillo pad and rubbing their body with it, and just freaking the fuck out.
Wear a condom.
Wear a body condom.
That's the perfect mentality. It is the body condom mentality. I think that's right. That's right. It's the body condom mentality.
But then if it was the track from whatever a few years ago, and it was, you know, kind of a parade, they'd piss and moan about that. So
yeah, I mean, are you trying to say that the race fans are just kind of like Cardi B? They'll never be satisfied, no matter what you do.
Because they're small-minded.
It's small
they're
dick
small-minded
syndrome.
peasants.
It's short man syndrome.
The fans are the small-minded peasants. Because think about it.
This is true. I've been saying this, but
Think about it. You got a guy that's got an average at best job that's never done shit. He hasn't climbed the ladder because he's, just a lazy fuck. And he sits there and says, the man's holding me back. It's my boss, my supervisor. It's the government. It's the IRS. Everyone's to blame. But the fact that he ain't actually putting his ass out there and making something of himself, right? So, that's what the dirt fans are doing now. They're, instead of saying, it's the fucking government or it's the owner of this company, they're saying, it's WRG. The fuck are you talking about?
yeah, I mean, you're saying that it's a straw man syndrome.
Well, it's just you have to blame a power. You have to blame a higher power of organization, right?
Well, I mean, and that's fair, right? It's fair to blame a power structure.
It's fair if this power structure is doing something that's inappropriate, right? Like
They're
that's
not paying their drivers enough.
Well, that's irrelevant. I'm just saying.
What do you mean it's irrelevant?
In a heat race where there's a wreck.
Hold on. If you want to get mad at Clark, you have to get mad. If you want to get mad at Clark for blaming World Racing Group, you have to also get mad at Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson for pointing at them and saying that they are the problem. And maybe me a little bit because I've done the same. But hasn't Brad Sweet and Kyle said that they are the problem in a way with what they're doing?
There is no problem, though, because I look at things from a different perspective.
Well, I agree.
Because
I mean, there's a perspective of getting your dick sucked versus sucking dick. I mean, I get it, but
they're all ungrateful, just like the fans.
Okay.
It's just like this mentality of, well, the NASCAR guys should be able to race dirt, and they should be able to go race, whatever the fuck they want. To hell with you. If you're a professional race car driver, that's all you need to do. Go to the gym every day.
Ride this race car dick. Continue.
Yeah, go to the gym every day and stay in shape. Go drive the simulator so that you know what the fuck's going to happen at the next track. Go talk to your sponsors, see if you can nurture some more money out of them. That's your job.
Wow.
Not
communism.
I'm going to go play with the fucking dirt racing so I can get maimed. Like, how many of them have gotten hurt now? Tony Stewart broke his damn leg. Bowman broke his back.
Tony Stewart killed a guy. Well, he didn't kill a guy. I'm sorry. Retract that statement. My bad.
Right, but I'm just saying, what's going to happen next? Is Kyle Larson going to wreck and then he can't race and then, he's racing for the championship in the chase and then he can't do it? I mean, come on.
But dirt racing is
I'll
where
give you an example. I know your fans hate real life, but the Green Bay Packers football organization, one of the Packers always had a softball fundraising event. He'd raise, six-figure money for some organization, right? For kids or something, right? And the Packer players would go and participate. And all of a sudden, one game, one of the star players for the Packers, this is a few years ago, it was Clay Matthews.
Oh, wow.
Took a fucking line drive softball to the face and had to miss the first 4 or 6 games because he had to have reconstructive surgery on his face.
So he stopped playing with the special needs people. They restricted it.
Well, what it was is Packers versus Packers. It was like, you know, the Packers would play the Packers, you know, the offense versus defense or some shit. Or they, you know, one big name player would pick a team and the other big name player would pick a team, right? So it was you know, it was good competitive shit. But guess what? The Packers said, okay, here's the deal. No high money contracted players are allowed to play in this game anymore. It's basically the third stringers and the practice squad can do it. That's it.
But no people they got money invested in is what you're talking about. The business aspect.
Yeah, and guess what? Other contracts, if you looked at NFL, you are not allowed downhill ski. Who the fuck was downhill skiing in NASCAR this year and fucked himself up? Like, if you read these NFL contracts, it says, I don't give a shit if you're the guy that's getting the league minimum, which is $250,000. You cannot do extreme sports. They actually have it in there that you cannot run on a street where there's vehicles because you might get hit by a fucking car.
Seriously, you're not kidding.
Because you know why? Because you're a stallion. You're a thoroughbred. You're not
an
supposed to be out
owned
there.
entity. Say it. You're an owned entity.
Yeah, so guess what? These guys from 5 years old on have dreamed for this moment where they can be this professional race car driver. And what do they want to do? They want to go cheat on the little dirt track. They got to go cheat, you know. They got the hot-ass wife, and they got to go back to the fucking gutter bar to pick up the slut.
That's because she does it right and you don't.
But you know what? Who cares? Because you got it all.
Yeah, but the only reason you're with that rich motherfucker is because he's got the money. It's not because you love him. You love dirt. You don't love that rich fucking cunt. You love the fucking construction worker known as dirt track racing. So you're selling, what you're telling me is these people are basically selling out to the sugar daddy and signing a contract with the sugar daddy, and you're finding disrespect when they want to go fuck the person they actually love. So
well, you need to be faithful to one or the other.
You're mad you can't buy their ass.
Who you got to be faithful to? You either are going to be faithful
to the money or to the love. You're right. That is the fucking battle at hand. I agree.
And you know what? I bet you a lot of these professional late model guys and sprint car guys, yeah, they may actually be making one less zero in their bank account than the NASCAR guy, right? But guess what? I bet you they're loving life. Versus the guy that's making
their soul
10
is
times.
sold. They sold their soul to the money.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, think about it. If you got who were the top late model guys this year? They were making about over $1 million, like the top 5 guys, right? They're touching $1 million.
Okay.
You know, $750,000 to $1.4 million was the range, I think.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what Kyle makes doing NASCAR, but I'm guessing it's probably what, $5 million?
Could be more.
Maybe more.
Yeah, 10 million.
So, okay, so they've got one less zero than Kyle, but for damn, I bet you that a Bobby Pierce is living a pretty fucking happy life.
Yeah, but that's why I call it the construction worker, because Kyle does not love the NASCAR vehicle. He loves a sprint car. This is why it really comes down to love. You know, and it's a big problem in society where people are turning their back on love for the dollar bill. What's right versus what is instinctually right. And I think, I mean, unfortunately, and this is some of the stuff I talked about early on in my teachings, is these people are the epitome of the decision that society makes when they pick that money over that love. And that's really the choice. That's the biblical choice. That's a reality choice. Picking picking the materialism over the morals. And you're saying that's what they, they made the choice. So fucking, sack up and ride the horse that you have signed the dotted line for.
Yeah, and then when a Joe Gibbs says, hey, Christopher Bell, this shit's getting a little too crazy out there. You got kids breaking their backs. We got fires going on. We got broken backs, broken legs. You know what? I don't want you doing that stuff no more.
We're not helping our case.
Well, Christopher Bell's got a choice. He can say, well, Joe Gibbs, then I'm just going to go back to dirt racing because that's my love, and I'm going to divorce you.
Right.
Or he's going to say, okay,
I love your money.
This is my job. This is my contracted obligation.
Right.
Okay. And that's what I'm going to do.
Right. Pick the money over the love.
It's no different than if you had a 9 to 5 corporate America job, and then as soon as you got done, you went and bartended till 3 a.m. Then you show up to corporate America and you're sleepy as shit. You're a pile of shit. And they say, hey, Chaz, here's the deal. You're a big deal here in corporate America, so you either got to pick. Either you're going to do corporate America or you're going to be a bartender. What's your choice?
And I have
chosen
I
want to do both. Why can't I do both?
And like, once again, I understand that money is man-made. I understand that money is a mental whip on your life. You are a slave. I mean, you traditionally you whipped a man to get him to do something he don't want to do. Money does the same thing. People are doing stuff in today's society they don't want to do because of the money. It's a mental whip. They just evolved it. The elites are very smart. The elites are very fucking smart. Instead of physically whipping you to get you to do something they don't want you to do, they have created a thing that has manipulated you, your mind, the human being's most powerful thing. We're not stronger or faster than any animal on the planet. We're smarter, though. So they have utilized that ability of your smarts to manipulate you, to slave you out to a item that they have created known as money. And they have got you to be they have got you to be a slave based on what that whip cracks on your ass. And with the example with Bell and Larson, these are Uncle Toms, and I called them that a long time ago, and it still stands true. They are Uncle Toms. They live well on the master's house. That's what they do. They live well on the master's house because they have allowed that money to whip them into compliance. And that's all that money's been used for, ever, at all. It's to get you something you don't want to do. It's to get you to choose love over morals. It's to get you to choose what's right or get you to choose what's wrong versus right. Money is the new whip. It's the evolved version.
But here's the thing. Is it the breed of humanity in this day and age where nobody's happy with anything? Right? So think about it.
You do a real good job at defending this.
Is it where, you think about it, a woman could be with the 6-pack ab, hottest fucking model on earth man, and she don't deserve that fucker, and she'll still be sliding into DMs of other guys that are pieces of shit.
Yep.
Right?
Hey.
Because it's just that constant cycle, that attention, right?
Anytime, and this is something for all you guys out there, even me, I'm in a relationship, obviously relationships are complicated, but I'm pretty damn happy at where I'm at. But what I would say to anybody who feels like they get into a situation where they feel like, and women are very smart, especially when it comes to manipulation. You know, their strengths are their mind. You know, our strength is our strength. Their strength is their ability and it's not necessarily a hindrance on them, but they got evolved ability to control people. They're caregivers. They have babies. They've had, even when you think of the old hunter-gatherer days, you know, they have the ability to control little kids. They raise kids. They raise people. They figure out how to control little childs and children's. So they have, we're evolved and we're badass as far as throwing spears and attack and all this stuff. They're evolved and developed, and strength is in being able to control kids and control people in a sense and raise people. But in that essence of being able to have the ability to raise people, they also have the ability to control people. So what I would say is, as far as what you're talking about, is any man who gets in a scenario where a woman makes you feel less than your actual worth, which your worth on earth is what, in my opinion, what God has given you. Every life is very sacred, very real. The best example of modern times I can give you as to if you think you can't be enough for her, I don't know if everyone has heard this name before, but I think most have. There's a guy out there named Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a guy who was had a vision to be a quarterback one day. He cried on camera on ESPN. We saw his emotions on display. We saw how much he can actually care about something. And some people and men out here especially, we aspire to be this badass player or performer or porn star or football player or basketball, LeBron James, name them all off. Tom Brady is the goal of every man's life, I think, to be the best player of a certain game that the elites have given us. And even Tom Brady, Spike, wasn't good enough to stay married. So guys out there, you could go out there into this world, be amazing, win, dominate a sport, be this fucking glorious shit, and a woman will still say you are not enough to keep her in your life. Tom Brady. Guys, this is legit. This is real. Tom fucking Brady was divorced. Okay? Tom Brady was told by a woman, you're not good enough. Spike? Any response?
Yeah, I hear you. Well, did Tom Brady go play arena football for $250 on his days off, though?
I'm just saying, this is Tom Brady, Spike. This is somebody who dominates all the money, all the fame, all the power. He was still told by a woman, you're not good
I
enough.
get it. Right.
So don't get down on yourself, guys. When you get told by a woman you're not good enough, it's normal. No. You could have as much money as you think you need. You could have the biggest job. You could have the most accomplishments in the world. No. You will still be told you are not enough for a woman.
I've never had a woman tell me that, though.
You're better than Tom Brady, Spike. I'm sorry.
They always say they always use a very, like a large term, right?
A large term? Oh, now we're all jealous.
Yeah,
Spike.
so they'll say, for example, they'll say, you know what? Of all the guys, you're the most fill in the blank. Or you're the biggest fill in the blank, right?
Dude, I feel like I heard when you heard largest fill in the blank, I heard asshole, biggest douchebag fill in the blank. That's what I heard, but continue.
Well, but see, it all changes as time goes on because, in the
it is
beginning
never
they
stable. You are never the same to a woman 1 month to the next.
Right, because it goes from, you know what, you're the most caring man I've ever met. You have the biggest heart I've ever seen, and you know, you're the best sex I've ever had. And then in the end, it's you're the biggest asshole, and you're the most horrible man I've ever dealt with. You know.
Somebody said Megan or Kim.
It's always very over the top compliments, which I enjoy.
You do enjoy it, though. You enjoy it.
Well, yeah, because what I've always told young guys, because sometimes I'll come and cross their paths, and they'll say, "Yeah, I'm dating this new girl, and she used to date this one guy, and if I run into him, I'm gonna punch his lights out." Oh, really? Why? Oh, you won't believe it. He's an asshole, and this, that, and the other. I said, well, guess what, dude? The last time you dated a girl and you guys broke up, I guarantee she told the next guy that you were the worst man on earth.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's very true.
I said, so I guess what? I said, you'll probably have a beer with the guy and get along just fine.
Yeah. And then if you date the girl long enough, you and that guy might have y'all might become best friends.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and don't get me wrong, there are bad dudes out there, but 9 times out of 10, a guy is just trying his best to keep his woman happy.
And the demand is just too high because of the patriarchy that has told them what their standards are. I believe that women have been manipulated since birth. Since birth. The system knows. The system knows.
It's the curse.
It's the
curse
system,
of the fall.
The system knows how much these motherfucking women are the lures. They know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Bible. You want me to teach you a little bit?
I already read the fuck about. I know what you're about to say, but I'm just saying these people today don't know this shit. How these women are raised since birth to be manipulated into insecurity and self-degradation, so that they are always fucking our minds up because they have bred them to fuck their minds up.
Right. Well, but here's the deal. Even since the fall of humanity, right?
The fallen angels. Yep.
When the woman Eve tempted the man to eat of the fruit, okay?
What about, you talking about Eve?
Yeah, Eve and Adam, right? You
Right.
understand?
Right.
And then
What about Lilith? What about Lilith?
Well, that's a whole different book.
No, that's not a different book. That's a real book.
But I'm just going to give you this concept here.
Hold on. You can't
know,
talk about Eve and forget about Lilith. What are you talking about?
Well, fuck Lilith for now. I ain't talking about the side chick. I'm talking about Eve right now. And what happened?
Lilith was
they
not
broke
a side
the one
chick.
damn rule. They broke the one damn rule. You got one rule. Don't eat the fruit of this damn tree. And they did it.
But that's the story of Adam and Eve.
Who made the guy do it? Who made him do it? She did, right?
Right, the influence. Yes. That's
There's always an influence
yes.
that makes a man not follow the rules and not think straight and fuck it all up. Because he fucked it all up because he's the one that bit into the damn thing.
Right. Right.
And then she's like, well, if he's doing it, I'm doing it too. But it's his fault. And, you know, and then he tries to blame the woman and God's like, fuck you both.
Well,
and then he's like, get the fuck out of the garden, you assholes, and you're naked now. So what happens is it says the curse is that the woman is always going to desire the man. And then everyone thinks, oh, well, that means that her whole life she's just going to have to serve the man. That's the curse of woman, that she has to be barefoot and pregnant.
Right.
No, that's not the interpretation. The original interpretation says she's going to desire the role of the man. She wants to be the man. That's the curse. The woman was cursed with the desire to be a feminist.
You had me. You had me.
It's true. That's what it says.
But feminism is a modern term. You had me all the way.
Yeah,
until
it is.
You
It's because you're trying to be a man. Because a woman that desires feminism is a man.
But what is defined as a man? That's another. Hold on. Are we getting? Hold on. You had me all the way until you said the desire of a woman will always to be a feminist. And when you said the man, I get that.
Yeah,
but
the role of the man, like she wants to be the leader, the king.
Okay.
The head.
And then
she wants to be the
had
boss.
A queen. There's been queens in history. So what are those people?
Yeah, well, tell me how good they're doing.
They're still queens. What about
matriarchy's all its fault?
What about Lilith? Hold on. Do we need to educate people on Lilith? I need to look up Lilith real quick. They don't even know who Lilith is.
Well, that's because
this is
people
real.
don't.
Hey, the war in Israel and shit right now is over Lilith, is it not?
No, it's not. It's about
yes, it is.
Isaac and Ishmael.
Oh,
it's about
Ishmael.
Isaac and
Ishmael. Okay. I looked her up. Lilith.
It's
Who's
Lilith? The two sons of Abraham.
Who Lilith is. Hold on. Lilith.
It's the two sons of Abraham.
Hold on. This is real. Now, pagan. Okay, hold on. Before we read this, hold on. We'll go back to the chat. Before we read this, do you know anything about paganism? Hold on, everybody. Hold on. In the chat. Eileen Georgechesky is the girlfriend. Go after the girlfriend. I need everyone to talk shit to Eileen Georgechesky. This is my girlfriend in the chat right now. She is mad. She is a feminist. Go after her. Call her every name in the book, and then we will release our OnlyFans later this month if we can get enough subscribers. Here's what we need. Everyone to go on here. If she calls it the honey curse, I believe it. I believe it at this point. It's called the honey curse. I'm never going to win.
It's the curse of I want to be the fucking top dog. And instead you could have just stayed home and made me a fucking sandwich and been laying on the couch all day.
Hold on. But since I'm here doing my videos and everything all day, I'm basically in the woman role of Eileen, right? Like me and her are reverse roles. Now, hold on. Now, you could look at that as her being the man and the feminist, but ain't that a point in the man category we're finally getting back ours? You know, kings, real kings don't go to work. Real kings sit back and just collect. Correct?
Yeah, you're missing that. I'm talking about the working man.
You're talking about the slave class. That's what I'm talking about. You talk about how the slave class
No, but even
operates.
still, the queen didn't do
how the slave class operates.
The king had to do all the orders and the rules, and he had to cut the guys' heads off.
Oh, if Eileen steps out of line, we go, bam. You know, I'm just saying, I'm a king of my household. Trust me.
All the queens did was lay around and stay hot so that the king could fuck her once in a while.
Oh, my God. Well, I try to do as much as I can. I mean, we ain't going to disclose that. If you want to subscribe to our OnlyFans, you can find out how. But I'm just... I might be single tomorrow. Any ladies watching, send me a DM tomorrow. But
I love
it. Somebody said Chaz is gonna leave the toilet seat up from now on. I'm never gonna do that. It's not happening. I put the toilet seat down. I even put a Clorox wipe. Why are modern men just trashy? What's the deal? What's the Jill? Oh no,
they ain't real men.
Oh, hold on. Jordan just said Janet likes you, Chaz. Dude, Eileen is severely, or Ashley is her name. She has her code words over here. She's undercover at CIA, basically. But Janet is this girl who's in the comment sections that have really pissed out Eileen off. She's like, who's this fucking Janet? Have you seen her, Spike? Have you seen this Janet?
Not facially.
I haven't facialed her either, but I mean, I may have to charge. At that point, I'm going to have to charge. I'm going to flip the script all the way. I'm going to sit here and be, the guy who puts the seat down and has respect. And then I'm also going to, just like the women, I'm going to start charging people to have me facial them or something.
I mean, that's, guys would probably pay for that, right?
Somebody said Janet is planning on going to see Chaz in Iowa. Oh my God. Ashley came in here and said this talk has completely derailed. Wrap it up. I'm getting told what to do right now. Is this what you're talking about? Is this no?
Who?
No. Spike, you're talking about what she's doing right now. Hold on, we may be instituting a breakup. What you're talking about right now is what she's doing, right? She wants to be the man. She wants to tell me it's over. Wrap it up. Get done. Get off your life. They want to control. They want to sit back and say, y'all been controlling us for thousands of years, but they really want to sit back and say, I want to control for thousands of years now. Is that not, I mean, at this point, we got physical evidence.
That's the curse.
On the screen.
That's the curse.
The honey curse?
But if I can be so kind to tie it all back to my original point,
oh no,
is that the nature of society, where nothing's good enough in the role that you're in. So if you're the NASCAR champion, it's still not good enough.
If you're Tom Brady,
you got to go play dirt. You got to, but think about it, Tom Brady. What if Tom Brady's like, well, I've mastered this NFL football. I would like to, on my days off, to play arena football for $200 a game. They would have said, fuck you, you are not.
Okay.
Like, you ungrateful prick, you're the champion of NFL how many times? Why in the hell do you want to go play in the fucking arena football league?
Right. Oh, and that's back to my issue is the perception of the sport.
And I'm not discrediting dirt. I'm just saying
that's what it's viewed like.
Well, we've already said that there's one less zero in dirt versus NASCAR. So if you make it in NASCAR, you're going to make $10 million versus $1 million. And I'm talking if you're the top dog in the dirt is $1 million. So if you're the mid-card or low-card guy, you're not making million. You're making probably, 100 to 100,000, right?
Right.
Okay. But what's the quality of life, right?
Yeah, you got to be on the quality of life is why Jacob Allen quit.
Well, but what I'm saying is there's two different qualities of life. There's some guys that would say, I can't wait to make it to, the NASCAR, and then I can be set for life. All I got to do is a 10-year or 15-year run, and then I'm done.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And my kids and my grandkids will be set. This is great. They look at it like, and they look back at their time before and say, that was a good time in my life when I did dirt or when I did the Slinger Speedway asphalt, and
when I was truly in love with the fucking construction worker. I sold out for the money. My kids, they have a great life now. I've sold out. I don't love anyone. I sold my fucking soul for the dollar bill.
Well, I don't even think it's selling your soul. It's eventually you need to grow up. And you make the hard decision.
Who's defined that grow up? Who has told you that is growing up? Is it God making the righteous decisions? Or is it man-made money that is controlling your decisions? Let's go.
No. You need to grow up and make a man decision. And you got to say, do I want to go do something that I can tolerate but not necessarily love? And it's kind of like the thing I love, but it's not exactly. But it's going to set myself and my kids and my grandkids up for the future.
You have talked Eileen out of this relationship at this point. She's never going to love me anymore. She's going to get with the rich guy.
Or you say, I'm going to do what I love, and it's going to be a struggle, and my kids might have to become a part of the family business too.
At this point, you're basically saying to the chat and to the world, Eileen has a choice here. Does she stay with the dirt guy who does it that she loves, but he doesn't really have all this stuff? Or does she move on to the Joe Gibbs who has the money, has the solid? She may not find the love that she could have with the dirt track Chaz guy, but she could find that stability, that real love with in your world, in your world, that real tangible asset with someone else. You have that's the choice right now. That's
and
what
then
you're
her
saying.
kids and her grandkids
Right.
and everyone after that will be
Right.
set for life.
Right. Do you choose this fucked up situation of a guy talking downstairs on a live at fucking 12:30 at night? Or do you pick the guy who's asleep right now going to make fucking 7 figures next year?
Right.
That's the choice. Love or money is the choice.
Right, but now imagine if she
You
gets
know, you
with
could be a real good spokesman for the OnlyFans models of the world, by the way.
Well, and I know a few of them.
I bet you
here's the
fucking
deal.
do at this point. You have convinced. You, Spike, have convinced the people Andrew Tate and people hate. These women that you have striking down as negative you are the enabler to their life.
No, I don't subscribe to any of this. I'm saying,
But you influence it with your projected influences.
I don't influence them in any way. All I do is I ask questions.
Do you want to go to work and make an honest dollar and be the dirt track guy, or do you want to show your tits and ass and make some money today? Is basically the situation you're portraying.
Well, what I'm saying is there's when we're getting back to this original thing where
We're talking
the
about
NASCAR
the whole
guys
thing because it all adds up.
You can't have both, though. That's what I'm saying.
I've had threesomes before. Well, hold on. Never mind. I haven't, babe. I promise. All right, keep going.
The corporate America guy that Eileen leaves you for, what if one day he goes, I'm going to sacrifice possibly my corporate America job worth $1 million fucking dollars so that I can go do a YouTube channel till 3 a.m. And she'd be like, yeah, I kind of was through that already, and I don't know if that's a good idea. You know, you should just stick to doing the $1 million corporate gig, you know? That's what I'm saying.
I need to do porn, Spike?
No, what I'm saying is, how in the fuck are these guys just saying, well, I'm going to do both? It's like, no, pick. This is your career. Pick one or the other. And Joe Gibbs is right. Fuck you. You're not going and doing that shit.
Joe Gibbs is right. You're saying Joe Gibbs is right.
Yeah, Eileen is Joe Gibbs, and she should tell corporate America guy, fuck you. You're not doing a podcast till 3 a.m. You're getting up at 5 a.m, getting the coffee made, and going to your corporate job where you make $1 million.
What argument? Hold on. We have live comments here. What arguments? He's just joking. We have interaction right now with my girlfriend. We are literally ending a relationship tonight. Let's do it, Spike. Bud Light
well, it's a good analogy,
is turning
though.
me trans-mental.
It's a good analogy, though, because it's like eventually,
right?
You know, I know a guy he's almost 30, okay, and he's got this corporate gig that he can work from home, and he does sales, corporate sales, very good money,
right?
And he's chasing the comedy world, like he's a comedian too, right? I know his stepdad. His stepdad said, yeah, I'm kind of getting a little worried because he's getting, 20-some bookings a month now, and I think it's affecting his sales.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
wow.
so what okay, here's the choice now. Eventually, he's going to have to make a big boy choice. Either I'm going to be corporate America sales guy or I'm going to be the full-time comedian. Right?
That's the choice, yes.
Because one's going to affect the other eventually. And that's all I'm saying. Like, they just got to pick one or the other. So I agree with Joe Gibbs. And then I don't think that any of these guys should be running around doing dirt.
Turning your back on love, Spike. Turning your back on love. It's love versus money. At the end of the day, it's love versus money. But
that's the choice. That's the choice.
So then that tells me that Eileen, really fucking loves this dick or something. Because how are you choosing me at this point?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never
What is she picking at this point? Does she think I'm going to be some rapper, YouTube star eventually, or what? Is it the investment for some of these people? Is that what Rick Hendrick sees? They see, oh, well, if I just give him what he wants, he'll be loyal to me? Rick Hendrick versus the Joe Gibbs sees it differently, right? Right? Because Rick Hendrick lets him go and do whatever he wants. He says, do whatever you want. There's a different way to be a fucking dictator. You can let your people go, or you can control them. The difference is controlling them builds animosity. Oh, no. Ashley just put in the comments, babe, just come to bed. She is really hot. I mean, you said it, Spike. You would take her to bed, correct?
Well, that's your lady, and I don't get involved.
You can say it. It's fine. I mean, if
I don't
honestly,
get involved
Spike,
in other men's relationships.
Honestly, if you were with a girl, honestly, Spike, and I didn't think I wanted to do something with her, you would feel offended, right? I mean, I would feel offended if you're with something that people, just like a race car. If I'm in a situation, I have a badass. If I'm Kyle Larson, I have a number 5 Hendrick ride, and nobody wants it. What the hell? I need to get into something that somebody else wants to take from me because I'm not in something that's obviously valuable enough to be with.
Oh, I get it.
Spike's gone quiet, guys. I think Spike's in her DMs.
No, I thought you were giving me some hypothetical, like if I, that like it would like right this moment type thing,
right?
You know?
Well, no,
I mean, like you got a good looking lady, and she's, she's the hair chicks, and I've gotten with the hair chicks, and they're all, they're all a little crazy, and that's fun,
They do say in that Hot Crazy Matrix that the hairdressers you got to stay away from. I've told her this.
It's a career. It's a career where you have to serve others, but you have to have artistic ability. You have to have customer service. You have to have counseling ability, and you have to have care. But you also have to be outgoing and fun and entertaining all in one. Like it's a very, strenuous profession. And, when you're done, the last thing you want to do is just even talk to anybody. You just want silence.
Well, and I would also say that also a barber versus a hairstylist, a female versus a male role, she may not suck my dick if I say this, but a male could potentially have more experience and be able to handle that role a little easier than a woman, because that sounds like a king's role. A king, if we're talking about the genetics, a king has to do everything you just said and handle it. Whereas a woman isn't necessarily used to handling that. Is that a fair statement? Balancing all those things?
Well, she has to care for and perhaps decide choices for somebody. As far as, well, even if it's simple as, well, should I go a little lighter brown or kind of more medium brown? Well, I think you should go medium brown because it's fall. And then afterwards, the lady's like, you fucked my life up. Like, I want to run light
Right.
brown.
Well, and they take it very seriously because they have been raised in insecurity to believe that their hair color is what defines their life.
Well, and then it's like, then the woman comes in every, 6 weeks and says how terrible her husband or boyfriend or whatever is.
Yeah.
And then finally she just says, what do you think I should do? And it's like, well, ma'am, based on what you've said for the past 5 fucking years, I think you probably should end it and go and leave this man.
Right.
And then it's like, then a month later, it's like, I left him. And then the next month, it's like, you ruined my life because you told me to leave him.
Right.
And it's like, bitch, you told me everything about him that's bad. What do you want me to do?
Oh, my God. And
you
that's
didn't tell
the
me,
cycle.
like, you told me the 5 bad things, but you forgot to tell me the 95 good things.
Right. And that's OCD. I think that's OCD. Women are inherently OCD. I think
But that's where when a man comes into the situation, a man's always got to have stability, right? A man's got to be a flat line. He can't have peaks and valleys.
We're constructors. I was explaining this one time. I was like, if I'm building a building as a man and I see one leg that's not really looking right, I don't just move to the next fucking floor. I feel like women do that. They see something that ain't right, they ignore it, and they just go on. I'm like, no, a guy sees something that's wrong, and we have to fix this shit before it moves on. Because we know if we don't fix this shit now, when we move on to the second or the third floor, this shit's going to collapse and break the whole fucking building.
Right. Well, and that's where the female is wired to have emotion, and they approach things emotionally. And every situation affects every other situation. It's just a big bowl of spaghetti. Every strand of spaghetti is wound inside each other.
Right.
Right? A guy's brain is boxes. We got everything in its own little box. And it does not touch each other. Right? Like if I...
Like a main chick and a side chick. Main chick, we're here.
Yeah, well,
side chick's over here.
Well, it's kind of like this, it's like I got my work box and I got my dirt track racing box and I got my chick box and all this stuff, right? And if I'm driving to the dirt track one day and I'm like, man, I'm so excited to go to the races today, and then the chick calls me and goes, yeah, I'm just letting you know I had a gangbang last night and got railed by every guy in town, and I'm done with you. And I'd go, okay. What am I supposed to do about it? I can't change it. Maybe I'm hurt, but I'm just like, well, fuck it. Like, this does not affect my dirt track box, though, because that's a completely different box.
Hold on, Spike. I have to know. Has that actually happened to you?
No.
Okay. Oh, God. That sounds like a nightmare. No. That sounds like, I think guys we do overthink sometimes too. I think sometimes we think worst case scenario, and it's not necessarily the truth.
No,
scenario like
but
that is a nightmare.
I'm sure I've been cheated on, but I don't give a fuck.
But I'm just saying, a scenario, what you just said is, but I also think it's fair for women to understand that just cheating with one guy is just as effective as what you just said. Like, it's the same thing to us. Whether you got railed by 10 guys or just one, it's the same.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had ones too where they're kind of nitpicking and creating a fight. They're creating some type of reaction to see if it can cause conflict, or if I'm not, maybe in the beginning I was gushy, right? Where I'm just like, oh wow, I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great job on, you're a working girl or whatever, and then after a while I'm not gushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they're like, well, you changed. You used to be so encouraging and caring. Well, I still am. I'm just not gushing like a fuck like I was in the beginning because I was trying to get laid.
You don't have that hard dick syndrome.
Yeah, eventually it balances out because it's like, okay, we've covered this already that, you're doing a good job, right?
Is there a way? Is there a way we can describe to women the temptational feel that us as men have to a very attractive woman? Is there a way to describe? Because I feel like when we talk to the opposite sex about sex in general, it's hard to describe the level of temptation that a nice set of tits, I'm just gonna say it, or a nice ass and nice legs. How can we describe that temptation, that feeling? And do you think that women are possibly jealous of that feeling that we have, that they cannot experience?
Well, right, because it's two different animals. Because a guy sees a girl walk by and he sees her body, and within the first 2 seconds, he imagines what it would be like to be naked with her and have sex.
Right. That's like instinctual. And I don't care. Guy friends, girlfriends, whatever. That's instinctual.
Now, on the flip side, yes, there are some girls that can see a guy, that has those hunky attributes that they'd be like, oh man, I'd like to see what he could do to me, right? There's some girls that think that way.
Most of the time that's societally influenced, though. That's not even what they feel.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, like, that's a guy like on the beach with a shirt off, or a guy with some tight shirt on, and I'm talking in everyday life, they see the guy that's, working at the department store and he's got a suit and tie on. She's not saying, oh, I can see his body parts. She can't. But we can, as a man, we can see the form of a woman.
You see it, right.
So then what it is she sees his eyes or his smile or his demeanor or his voice, and then that's the attraction.
Right. Right. Whereas us, we literally see an object, and this is what the feminists would say. We see them as an object that we can use.
But that was their own decision to do so, because
what do you mean? What happened is,
yeah, because once upon a time, you had the choice in America where you could present yourself in if there was a line of women, right? And there was 10 women, and 5 of them were being groomed to be housewives, and then the other 5 were being groomed to be whores, right?
I'm going to take a piss. Continue.
Well, what? Huh?
I'm going to use the restroom. Continue. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Obviously, when a guy walks by, he's going to look at the 5 whores, because he's going to be like, oh, look at those tits and ass and legs, right? And he's going to see that as an initial appeal. But then but obviously if he's just looking for a quick lay, he's going to go for the whore. But if he's looking to create something long term and have a family and a good life, he's going to want to invest in learning more about the housewives, right? But what ended up happening is it takes time to attract the man if you're the housewife, right? So eventually all these women were like, we're just going to model ourselves after the whores So all 10 of us are going to look like whores, but now you have to determine which ones of us are actually housewives that just decide to look like whores. And it fucked everything up.
Or which one of us have actual morals? Which one's the good one and which one's the bad?
Right. So then when it's all said and done, it's like, well, I'm sick of being passed over because these guys that are superficial and just want the whores, I want that attention. And it's like, no, you don't. You want a guy that's actually a good dude. Right?
Right, but they're used to that whole attraction thing is barbaric though, because back in the peasantry days, if you wanted to move out of peasantry, you had to attract a man who was not within the peasantry. So, and the only people who were getting that attraction were the more attractive people. So it was a race, but it's a race between the men. Back to the labor versus the sex exploitation. It's a race between the men,
you know what, Drew?
to be more laborious, to provide a service to the man that will give you more money. And then it's also an attractiveness to the woman, to who can look the prettiest, to attract the higher elite, more appealing man to be able to advance in society. It's a life thing. But hold on. Ashley has chimed in at 1 a.m. She does have to work at 6 a.m. tomorrow. If you ever complain to me again about not having female viewers, I will reference this train wreck of a conversation. Oh my God, so offensive.
This is all truth, though. I mean, it's not
offended.
a train wreck.
She's offended, Spike. You got to get at her.
This is all studied facts. And here's the facts. The rich guy.
You better have an open door in a spare apartment tomorrow. That's all I'm saying.
I do. But let me explain something to you, because once again, people don't get it. They got it wrong. They think that the rich Puritans,
the
right?
elite.
That they were what?
Apocalypto. Those people. That's who I'm talking about.
No. You were referencing something half correctly, and I'm going to correct you.
Oh, okay. Correct me, sir.
Here's the facts, and this is a fact of womanhood that they should fucking love. So all you women listening, you better fucking get a bucket ready, because you're all going to be so turned on by this, because it's a fucking fact.
Oh, God. That's so offensive. I get where she's coming from. Continue.
So here's the facts. When you had in the colonial days of America, and I'm not talking about back in the fucking cavemans or any bullshit like that. I'm talking
like
about
1492.
Well, I'm talking like 1700 George Washington era. Okay? 1800, right?
Okay.
The noblemen of a city did not desire the field workers, because the field workers were skinny fucking women that if you got them pregnant, they were malnourished, they didn't have birthing hips, and they would die from childbirth.
I try to tell these thicker women all the time, it's a instinctual like attraction.
Right. So what did they end up doing is the men desired a woman that had hips, because she had meat on her bones, because that meant that she actually was from a household that had, obviously money and food, and that meant that she was healthy and she could get pregnant and have kids and carry on the bloodline.
Right. The same thing with the fat man of traditional lifestyle. The fat man had food, and that was an attraction because they had life.
Well, but think about this. So what did they do in the Disney fairy tales is, the peasant girl, what would they do? They'd eventually dress her up in a big gown that had a big hoop in it, so her hips looked fucking big.
Right.
Because they were trying, and then they doll her up so that she looked healthy.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, Ashley has some thick-ass hips, little waist, thick hips. I agree. It's hot. And that's why.
Yeah,
what you're saying
because
is why.
that's healthy.
It's instinctual. Is what I'm saying is that it's instinctual. It's what you're saying. It's in my DNA.
Right, but see the modern day attraction that they've tried to program that they want girls to believe that men want skinny chicks. That is not, truth be told.
That's true.
That's not really
a defense mechanism. That's a defense mechanism by the system to keep you ugly, technically.
Well, and probably there's a reason why a girl is that skinny. If a girl over the age of, 21 is that skinny yet, she's probably has something wrong or has some types of addiction.
Or society has manipulated her into believing an image that they want her to portray.
Right.
Which costs a lot of money.
Something wrong. That's something wrong, yeah.
Right. And then they give them the food, the horrible fucking processed meats and cheeses that make them fat to make them. This is why I say the lure is the woman, but they've mentally destroyed the woman to keep them fucked up so that they continually go down this path that they lead us on. They lead us on.
Well, and I mean, I've dabbled in all aspects of female shape, right? And I've dated girls that are stick skinny, and I've dated girls that were curvy and big titties and look great, right? And then I've seen some that were skinny as a boy, and when it's all said and done, the attraction for the skin and bone types, the skinny girls,
it's fun. Illusion. It's an illusion.
It's fun once or twice, but you start developing a
instinct.
Well, I wouldn't call it an erectile dysfunction, but you're not turned on after a while.
Right.
You're not turned on by that. But the curvy ones, I mean, they can be wearing clothes and they're just sitting there in clothing, and you're like, holy shit, I'm getting hard as fuck, and we're just sitting here eating pizza.
Yeah.
So there is value in a woman that is a woman. That's the part of it. It's a woman. I don't want you to look like a fucking man. I don't want you to act like a man. I don't want you to desire to be a man.
This is true.
There's nothing attractive about manliness.
There's nothing attractive about hiccups, and I got some right now. Oh, shit.
Hold your breath.
You gonna talk?
Yes. So, but the moral of the story is, when it's all said and done, the race tonight was great. The track is fine. Ain't WRG's fault. It's just the fact that the sprint car fans have this buffet of a weekend here of all the different types of racing, and they're bitching already about it. How the hell can you bitch about it? You get to see all three classes. That's awesome. And that track's pretty fucking wild, I feel. I love it.
And how in the hell am I bitching about women when I got, what you're describing upstairs? I think what we're figuring out here, Spike, when I showed Ashley your video of you playing piano, she was taken back. Are you trying to move in on Ashley, Spike? Is that what's happening here?
No, because I don't have even a pinky.
I've heard of your horrible dating experiences over in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Just saying.
I don't have a pinky finger of the talent that you do, so.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Well, we got to make we're going to collaborate, though, and make a song. That's for sure.
Collaborate and make a thong?
A song.
Oh, a song. Okay.
Yeah.
It is music. I got to get this down in these roots that you hate. I showed you the song.
It's too fast.
Horrible.
It's too rappy.
You're wrong.
Consider your audience.
The old people.
It's too rappy for me.
You don't know.
I don't
understand.
understand.
What you're talking about.
I can't follow it.
Because you're too old, Spike. We're trying to
You
attract
gotta,
the youthies.
The fastest a rap verse can be is basically what you've done in your other songs. That's as fast as they can go because that's how people can process it because they're also seeing visuals.
You do know that Eminem is like 6 times the speed, and he's very famous.
He ain't famous in the dirt track world, though. I'm saying you got to consider your audience.
We're sitting here complaining about the dirt track world. We're trying to expand outside of it.
Nobody cares, though.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We got a debate here, ladies and gentlemen. Spike does not like the new song that's coming out. I'm fighting the hiccups. Fuck it. Spike does not like the new song coming out.
All I said was slow down the rap a little bit.
Ain't happening. I can't slow down.
Because people don't know, they don't understand the click a gig a gig. They don't know how that works. They don't understand that with a word.
That's because they're slow. We're gonna speed them up. We got to help them. We ain't trying to nerf them.
It's got to be very basic. This is white man rap for dirt track.
No.
White man dirt track rap.
We're trying to expand. We're not here to appease the racist white community of the racing world.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Them? Who is them? Who is they?
The racist white men that own dirt track racing.
Okay. All right, you done? We need to be done.
Because there ain't no black guys trying to get into racing other than your buddy that does the midgets.
Oh my God. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
White. He's white.
I've told him this. Yes.
And then your buddy that's the promoter, right? The track announcer guy.
Okay.
You know? I mean, you know why the city slickers and the black people and the Japanese or who the fuck don't like dirt racing? Because it's something that you have to be taught that it's something that you like. It's something you got to be raised in.
Okay. I mean, if that's what
I'm serious. I've taken people to dirt track races
people,
and they were
get very excited. When I show it to new people,
they
like,
love
wow,
it.
What's that?
They love it. They think it's so cool, but they are not committed to it. It was cool. It was fun. I loved it, but I'm not in love with it.
That's a hard say.
That's the difference, though. But that's the addictive. But you know why? Because there's nothing to emotionally connect you to it. And it's just, see, the funny part is, and let me go on my soapbox and bitch a little bit. There's probably nobody in your chat room now, but I don't care. I'll talk to myself. Because at least I'm having an intelligent conversation.
I'm hiccuping. I can't stop it. But
I'm having an intelligent conversation with the Chaz and myself. And so here's the reality. I've been saying stuff for the past 2 months, and then you had these guys on that are big name, veterans in the racing world, and they've reiterated exactly what I've been saying. Am I right?
You're wrong.
No, I'm right.
What have they been saying then?
Huh?
What have they been saying?
Well, the guy you just had on a few nights ago said, this youth movement is creating where there's no connectability to the fan base, and that is hurting the sport because you can't have a beer with them and relate to them. And that's what made the sport special once upon a time. And that's what I said. I go, that's why the IMCA divisions and that's why the late models are popular, because these are all working class guys that you could have a beer with.
Okay.
And they all have kind of a, especially the late model guys have a bit of a character to all of them, right? And he's saying the youth movement is what's causing where nobody has that connectivity. So that's what I'm saying. You can go to these races and be like, that was badass, but you've got no connectivity to the racer. So you don't have a favorite, right? Because they're all,
Kids.
16 to 22-year-old, bland fucking midgets, right? So you're just like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know who I like. I mean, who's the one that's nearest to where I live? So it's like you basically just got to pick one geographically or something, or that one's sponsored by NOS Energy and I like energy drinks, so I guess I'll cheer for him. It's like that. That's what it becomes, right?
True.
And so that's what and I said that for you. And then who was it? Dave, the RMS guy. He said the KKM program should have a public speaking and communication class that they have to go through.
Right.
So that they can better communicate with fans and better communicate with sponsors and know how to do interviews better and be more personable. So that was another thing I said before. So, and I'm just saying, like, I'm thankful that other people see it too, and I'm not just some nutcase on the outside looking in. But that's why I'm saying sprint car racing will be dead in 10 years and late models will live forever.
Is that all you have to say, Spike? We're being shut down. The woman has texted me I have to go, get laid or something. I don't know. Question.
Well, I got nothing left to say.
Am I gonna get laid or yelled at? That's the question.
It's too late for sex.
This is true. It's a setup.
She's gonna knife you.
Wow. But the knifing and the sex can be good. What's up with that? Why when we're mad, why is the argument sex the real hot one? It's true, right?
I don't know, but that's a whole new dynamic in the female conundrum of life right now.
Oh, I feel like we need a female show. Let's do a female show.
I mean, the amount of brutality that girls are into is fascinating to me.
I have stood firm on any girl who's into 50 Shades of Grey. The reason I don't subscribe to it is because it goes back to the ancient times of when the kings or the princes would see a hot girl in the peasantry and they wanted to fuck her. And regardless on if she wanted to have sex or not, that's when original bondage was created, was to bond these poor peasantry women and to force sexual action onto them by the kings or the peasantry. And I guess even in that time, there was a form of attraction to a prince or a king bonding you down to force sex onto you.
Well, it's because it's dominant. It's dominant.
Right. That's why it's called dominatrix. It's a structural power.
I like it.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. That's it. You're done.
I've never, hey, if some girl, they don't even have to ask. I mean, it's pretty much 99% now are into it. So it's fine with me. It's like.
I've had to be involved in it as well. I mean, is there
you
not
act like it's a
handcuffs
punishment,
involved
you asshole.
where I'm about to go in? Am I about to chain her up and do something to her? I don't know. That's true. It's possible. But I'm just saying, anyone into that, you're basically endorsing rape.
No, you're going too far
Not
with
in
it here.
today's world. I'm going to the origins.
No, it's all a simulation.
That's a good word. Yes, that's a good word.
That's the problem is you're getting these dumbass guys that don't understand that it's a fantasy simulation.
Right.
And they're actually,
yes.
They're not just, taking just putting a grip, right? We're saying like their hand around the neck, right? Like just to create a little bit of dominance, right? No, they're two-handed choking the bitch out till she's dead. It's like, okay, you dumb fucking idiot. Like, this is a simulation here. Like, they don't get it.
I'm feeling I'm feeling too threatened by you, Spike. At this point, I think she's gonna take you to bed instead of me.
Well, no, I ain't trying to kill no bitch. I'm just saying, like, that's the problem. Is
you know
these
what
guys
she wants,
like,
and you want to give it to her, Spike. Just say it.
I ain't giving it to nobody. I'm abstinent right
now. Oh, you're not the bad guy. You're just saying what's real. You're the shaman.
I'm abstinent as of this coming Saturday. It'll be 14 days abstinent.
Oh, 14 days. You're fucking claiming it.
And I'm dry. I'm 14 days abstinent and
14 days.
And no, I lied.
Years.
Oh,
I did.
Fuck, I lied. Sorry. I forgot Monday night. God.
Just reeling them in. You're just reeling them in as you speak. Thanks a lot.
No, I just can't remember because half the time I'm so tired.
Right.
I am. Fuck, I work a lot. It sucks.
Okay.
It sucks.
So can we let you go now? Is this the end? 1 a.m.
Are you gonna tie her up or what?
Are we doing post race every night this week?
I would hope so. This is the World Finals.
Oh God. Okay. All right.
And then
we'll see you
tomorrow, Clark will call and be so upset and so offended by the track, and it's WRG's fault.
Brother Carl.
Fucking Clark. And then, well, it's not WRG's fault. I guess it's Charlotte's fault. Well, then it's God's fault because he rained on it a few days before. And he didn't let the sun shine enough.
So true.
That's why he's Canadian. He ain't allowed in our country because he's an idiot.
Oh, my God. Throwing shots. You're done, though. You're done at this point.
Done. Yeah, man.
All right, you're calling
I'm
tomorrow.
done. Yeah, I got nothing going on tomorrow night, so.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in.
Hey, just remember, just a little grip around the neck, slap the cheek, kind of that little bit of that. They like that.
I hung up at that point, ladies and gentlemen. We just hung up on Spike. I'm going to take his advice up to the bedroom. Thanks for chatting. Like the video, share the video. Memberships in the channel. And as always, be sure to subscribe. Catch you next time. I'm coming up, babe, right now.
We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best.